welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season number 5 race at Sonoma Raceway, and we are underway tonight. This is Sonoma, and it is race number 4 of Season number 5, and welcome to the Cup Series once again on the road. Of course, we had the Grand National Series last night here at Sonoma, won by Cup Series regular Matthew White. It was only his 3rd career Grand National Series win overall. First, of course, in Season number 5. And he's going to be one of the favorites, probably the favorite to win tonight, even with the brand new race car. But Matthew White is going for 3 straight wins at Sonoma in the Cup Series. But the other 2 were with the old next-gen cars. That's something to keep in mind. All right. This is Sonoma. In Sonoma, California tonight for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Of course, I'm going to be joined in the booth by Eli Franklin, who might be joined in the booth a little bit later by Brody Webster. 2 Grand National Series drivers that were in the race last night here at Sonoma Raceway in Grand National. And we are just about ready to go racing. We're going over, of course, what's going to be happening in this race, some of the storylines to look out for, more race details, this half-hour warm-up session coming up. From Sonoma, California here in Season number 5. It's the 3rd ever Sonoma race. We, of course, started racing here back in Season 3. Both those 2 races in Season 3 and Season 4 were won by Matthew White, of course. And he also won Grand National last night. Could have even won iCar, but unfortunately crashed out there. Bryce Benson won the iCar race, but will we have a 3rd winner this week, or will either Bryce Benson or Matthew White get the victory lane again? Bryce Benson definitely wants to, after obviously being suspended last week in Fontana. All right, here we go. We are live in Sonoma. All right. Car is going to be on the racetrack in just a minute for the warm-up session. From Sonoma Raceway. Sticker doesn't want to be broken. There we go. All right. Cars on track. Welcome to Sonoma, California tonight for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season number 5 race in Sonoma. We are live and ready to go here tonight. Cars on the racetrack. The first one, of course, most notably the 7 of Matthew White. Obviously, we've talked about his success at this racetrack, going for 3 straight Cup Series victories here at Sonoma Raceway. And unfortunately for Matthew White, it's been a pretty rough season so far. I mean, currently sits 15th in points, in the chase points right now, which is just unbelievable considering what he's done in the Cup Series before. Over 20 career wins. Does have a win this season at Richmond, but a DNF early in Fontana last week and a crash in the Daytona 500 kind of put him in this position. All right. As more cars roll themselves on to the racetrack here in Sonoma, California. All right, of course, joining me in the booth tonight, Eli Franklin. Of course, Eli, you were in the Grand National race last night, but tonight's race is a lot longer, 20 laps longer to be exact, than the Grand National Series last night. So does that change anything with these drivers, 55 laps compared to 35?
I think it does. Obviously, we have the stage, and I think with how the new points format is, we'll see a lot more people not pit unless it's inside the top 10. We have guys maybe like 11 back, 19 pit stops before the end of the stage. But really, it's not a big difference here for tonight's race because after the stage break, it's almost a 30-lap run compared to the Grand National race. But a lot more competitive driving out here. Matthew White's obviously the favorite here tonight. Won last night by a decent amount. Should have won iCar, but should be a good one here tonight.
Yeah, we're definitely very excited for this one here in Sonoma. As here is the 79 of Ashton Miller now heading down to turn 11. You also got the 40 of Brandon Pfeiffer. Brandon Pfeiffer has had an awful season, to say the least, so far in Season number 5 for the Cup Series. Let's talk about it real quick. Finished 39th in the Daytona 500, finished 29th at Richmond, and then finished 30th at Fontana. So has finished the season 29th. So definitely needs to turn it around a little bit. I mean, all hasn't been his fault. He's been involved in some bad lucks, 3 DNFs. It's not a good season, though, for Pfeiffer. Not the greatest racetrack for him, I don't think, and not probably the track he wants to try to turn it around at, but he's got really no choice. Here comes Braden Hunsticker, your defending Cup Series champion in the 77. Heads down to turn 11. Also got the 12 of Trent Wilkin behind him. Head there is the 16 racetrack. Here is your defending winner in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, of course. It is, hang on, my mouse is being a little bit stupid, but anyways, here is the 71 of Cole Clausen. Of course, won his first ever race finally in Fontana last week. One of the biggest stories of the season. Cole Clausen finally gets the victory lane in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, and it comes to the first season that he's part-time in Cup and full-time in Grand National, but still goes to victory lane after nearly 100 races of trying. So happy for Cole Clausen. The celebrations were really, really big last week, and makes another start tonight here in Sonoma. So we get to see him once again in California, trying to go back-to-back here, which is something we've never said about Cole Clausen, because he's never actually won a race before until now. Some suspensions to talk about. Eli Tomlin was suspended for some rule infringements last week at Sonoma. So he's suspended for one race. He'll be back at Atlanta next week. Or I meant last week at Fontana, I meant. So man, up the hill goes that 96 of Andrew Stacy. For Claire High Racing, of course, he is teammates to Aiden Poles, Connor Avrilla, and Anderson, and CJ Erdman. And the 30 here of that's 30 of Sean Hill, which of course made the playoffs last season. Now going to try to make the chase. Speaking about the chase, let's look at your chase standings entering it tonight here in Sonoma. So of course, Cameron Chandler sits 39 points to the good. Sean Rowe plus 33, a good run in Fontana for those two. Both probably the two dominant cars of that race. Put him up front. Jacob Quayle, the underdog story of the season, currently sits third in points. Unbelievable year so far for Quayle. He has just been absolutely on a roll. So, for some reason, okay, this is a quick second. I don't know why there's two Aiden holes. I'm not really sure what happened there.
We'll say one thing about tonight's race. Qualifying's going to matter a lot, because last night you saw a lot on lap 1 in the Grand National and I call it. We had wrecks early on going to like the second or third corner, so qualifying matters a lot. And qualifying here is going to be different than you usually see. Instead of lap count, it's how time limit. So you can as much laps as you can within 10 minutes, which probably helpful for most of these drivers in road courses, because usually road courses here on iRacing, if you go off track at any, it doesn't count your lap at all. So if you have a mistake, you have 10 minutes instead of 2 laps usually.
Yeah, of course, all cars going to be in the racetrack at the same time as well. Looking here, Jacob Quayle, like you said, it's plus 24 to the good. Aiden Donahue won the pole last week in Fontana, but never ended up starting the race at a mechanical issue. Had to immediately retire. Payson Lindsay, after a really solid day in Fontana, sits 5th in points, plus 70 to the good. Bryce Benson coming off his suspension, of course, your Daytona 500 champion, sits only plus 16. Jacob Malone, we're not exactly sure what's going on there, but there will be updates later what's happening with Malone in regards to the points and whatever. Axel Smith currently sits 8th in the standings, plus 8. You see Tobin plus 9 and Braden Hunsicker just plus 7 to the cut line over his driver. Michael Gregory minus 7. John Butler 11 points below the playoff cut line. Shilkwich minus 15. Aiden Holes minus 16th. And where the biggest story about all this, Matthew White is minus 17 to the cut line, entering Sonoma, race number 4 of the year. He does have a win this year, like I said, but other than that, it has been purely bad luck and unfortunate incidents for him. All right. Cars still in the racetrack here in Sonoma. About 20 minutes left to go in this warm-up session. Just getting started. So far, top of the board is Matthew White, second Ashton Miller, third Braden Hunsicker. Oh, we got a car spinning. Oh my God! Matthew White, it just went barrel rolling. Oh my Lord. And here comes the 97 of Axel Smith. I've been pretty impressed with Axel Smith. Of course, he won his first ever start in Grand National. He's full-time in the Cup Series. And currently sits inside of the chase grid, beating guys like Matthew White, and some other ones involved there. So I'm really impressed with the 97 of Axel Smith so far this season. We'll see what he can do tonight. Here is Connor Aswell, also was suspended for Fontana. Of course, comes off that now with some momentum and looking to turn things around here tonight in Sonoma. Connor, another pretty bad start to the year, sits currently well out of the playoff cut line. My God, if I can actually talk tonight. I should say the chase cut line. I'm not even sure where he is. He's below 34th in points, I believe. Completely off my grid that I have right here. So Asbel needs a good point stack. Of course, regular season.
For guys like Matthew White here tonight, you got to take every stage win possible. If you want to go for a win, I get it, but being below the cut line here, Matthew White, here coming in tonight, probably the favorite here tonight, and him probably finishing the stage as long as he no wrecks or anything, nothing major happening. Probably finish inside the top 3, if not probably first for the stage. You take all 10 points because you're below the cut line every point possible. Because here there's no winning in. It's a different points format, which helps with stage wins, stage points, and everything. So he needs every point possible here tonight.
Yeah, of course, Matthew White. It's probably the longest he's gone in a season with being below the playoff cut line. Real quick, confusion going on here. I don't know why there's 2 8-in holes. I think this 8-in holes is actually, so we had an issue. 8-in holes for some reason got his account banned somehow. I'm not really sure how you do that, but I believe this 8-in holes is actually Christian Herkla. I don't really know though. I'm kind of confused. We're trying to figure out what's going on. Not really sure which 8-in holes is actually 8-in holes. So, pretty. It's a little bit funny, but it would definitely be a lot more funny if this wasn't a cup race. Here comes Aiden Donahue up the hill. Needs some redemption. Entered as the points leader in Fontana. Of course, won the pole. Then you all know what happened after that. Currently, right now on the board, he sits down in 12th. So it's still early on in the session, not even halfway through, but not a ton of cars have put down really good times here. But still, kind of maybe a little bit concerning for Aiden Donahue if this thing doesn't improve. Reload trading paint, see if that. But yeah. Oh, that is okay. iRacing. Sorry about that again. And here comes Cameron Chandler, your current points leader, heading down to turn 11. Of course, turn 11 is such a good passing opportunity here at Sonoma Raceway. We're probably going to see this used all race long to try to make passes. We've seen some contact down there multiple times throughout the week. And saw that big battle between Jacob Malone and Bryce Benton last night that got pretty heated at the end of that. Here's the 88, that is Landon Johnson, the 97 of Axel Smith. There's the 13, that is Max DiFilippi, and he's going to nearly go around. We'll save the race car, though. And here is the 82 now. Yeah, okay. Paint scheme got fixed. He was in the wrong scheme. This is the 82 of Aiden Donahue. Still yet to see Jacob Quayle here. Jacob Quayle, I'm not really sure if he's going to be able to race tonight. Jacob Malone and Trenton Wilkin have kind of switched their spots yet again, so I believe Wilkin's going to be scored for chase points, or for the chase now. Now he's going to spin. Currently is 12th on the board. Malone is probably going to be scored for Grand National points again. There's the 18 of Mannix Beard. 15 minutes to go in the warm-up session. Still top of the board is Matthew White. But you got to watch out for tonight. I would say maybe the big surprise, Matthew White doesn't win this race, I would say my second driver to win is going to be Ashton Miller today. Won the pole last night in Grand National. Probably was one of the fastest cars in that race. Was running down Matthew White at the end. Finished second after falling back to 11th. Oh, Matthew White spins around Brandon Pfeiffer for whatever reason. Yeah. So I really could. My hopes are high on Ashton Miller tonight. We'll see what he can do. So, of course, halfway break at the end of lap 27. Points are awarded to the top 10, as always. Chase point awarded, of course, for the win. 5 chase points for the win, 1 chase point for the stage win. Space and Lindsay new Quaker Stake paint scheme this week. Heads down to the turn 11. So Eli, obviously you're in the Grand National race last night. Was turn 11 maybe a problem spot for some dive bombs on you, or did you maybe pull anything on anyone?
Well, I didn't really pull anything in A1, but it's a good opportunity to definitely get a good opportunity to pass into them. Also, when going to the pass end, it's very easy to overdrive that corner and run if you're trying to pass somebody driving into the wall. It's a very slow corner. You have to be patient with the corner. You can't just throttle up immediately, so you can easily spin out going through that corner. But it's a very difficult corner, but it's a great opportunity to pass. So there's not a lot of passing opportunities here on this track.
Yeah, of course, probably the best passing opportunity here at Sonoma Raceway. There's a couple, but definitely the best. It can make something happen. Here's the 30 of Sean Hilquich. Hilquich currently sits on the board. Goes back around 17th. Here is Bryce Benson, of course, coming off his suspension. Currently sits P10 on the timing sheets. So, real quick update, the actual Aiden Holes is the 42 car, like usual. I'm not really sure who the other one is. It may be Christian Urquhart's because we had some issues where we had to input Aiden Hole's name as Christian Urquhart's. So, a little bit of confusion going on right now. There's the 36 there of William Reagan.
One thing we do have to watch for here tonight, what we've seen the past 2 nights of racing, as a lap 1, after they found turn 3, turn 4, we had 2 wrecks that take out a couple cars. It was near the middle of the back of the pack that really affected the front, but people like Braden Piper the past 2 nights have been affected with lap 1 incidents, going to like turns 3 and 4, and it has been a killer for some of these guys, not really for just like being done with the race, but any damage here on the road course, it makes your car harder to turn and burns a lot more tires. So as long as those cars can make it through the first opening corners, it's been a clean race ever since. But usually early on, everybody bunched up double wide, possibly maybe 3 wide. It just makes everything difficult for some of these drivers going side by side.
Yeah, Cameron Chandler now goes through into the grass. There's Ethan McMillan locking up in front of his teammate Cole Clausen. We got a car spinning. Around goes 65 of Davy and Tobin. New paint scheme, very colorful for Ethan Trendler Racing. For the ETR cars right now, they sit currently 3rd with Sean Rowe, 8th with Trenton Wilkin. Then they currently sit 16th with Sean Hilquich, and then Davy and Tobin sits 22nd for the full-time ETR cars. And we got a car, all right. I don't remember who that, I didn't see who that was, but it was Bryce Benson. Just went behind the truck there. Here's the 7 of Matthew White, still top of the board by 3/10 over Ashton Miller. I talked to Matthew earlier this week. He didn't have too much confidence. I mean, he obviously had a lot of confidence, but not as much as he had with the next-gen car here at this track. So this might not be a complete runaway for him.
Bryce Benson, 3rd on board.
Yeah, so top 10 so far. It is Matthew White, top of the board. Miller, Benton, Rowe, Donahue, your top 5. Huntsicker, Chandler, Wilkin. John Butler currently holds on to 9th, and Axel Smith rounds out your top 10. Still more changes probably to come. Mason Lindsay down in 14th. I would say this top 8 still has a great shot at winning the championship. I would say they would all, for me at least, be locked into the chase. I would throw, or I don't want to say locked into the chase, but all have a really good shot for the chase. The top 10 cars, of course, make it. Mason Lindsay now, I would say the top 9 have a really good shot at making the chase this season. And then I don't really know after that. John Butler, of course, he sits 10th on the board. He could be another one, but there's still a lot of other strong contenders. We got our $5 donation in the chat, so thank you for that. Very, very appreciated of that. That will go to good causes for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. Appreciate that.
Also for qualifying, it really matters where you get out first, because you don't want to be behind some of these guys that maybe you're faster than because you really want to improve your lap times. I see Matthew White here. If once you get to qualifying, you want to be the one of the first couple cars out because you don't want to be back behind some of these guys that are slower than him and hurts his lap times. It's you're but in agreement with everybody. So it depends where you come out, and also when you come out, you have to put a gap between you. So just say you're one of these guys. Let's just make Taylor Chandler. If you want to have about maybe a 3 or 4 second gap with the car in front of you, so one, when you have a qualifying lap, the guy in front of you messes up, you have time to one, pass him, or two, it's enough times where they can get out of the way. Because you're right behind them, they wreck, they can really ruin your lap.
Yeah, I mean, qualifying at these road courses gets really interesting. Like you said, of course, all cars in the racetrack at the exact same time. It gets pretty dicey sometimes as well, and especially when we have a bigger grid. Usually what we have in the Cup Series is about 30 cars. We should probably get close to that. We're currently at 27. Probably will get just about to that. Due to it being a road course, we usually get a little bit less, but here's the 9 of Bryce Benson. And behind him, that 36 there of William Reagan. I'm looking at some notable drivers here. Michael Gregory isn't here. Neither is Jacob Quill. Neither is not Davian Tobin. Jacob Quayle currently sits third in the points. That would be very bad for him. Some people, to be honest, just don't own the track and either can't afford to buy it or whatever. Because iRacing tracks definitely aren't cheap or anything, all things considered.
Definitely not.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to basically own every track and then drain your bank account a little bit. You're not a millionaire or whatever, but yeah, here's the 36 there of William Reagan now on the Bojangles machine. About 7 minutes to go in this more possession of the car. That's number 7 so far top of the board here. Sean Oakridge down in 16th right now in the 30. Of course, first ever road course race in the league for this Gen 4 car. To the inside now goes that 77 of Braden Hunsaker, hard braking zone into turn 11 on Sean Hillquist. He goes, and he's going to go a little bit wide here. Side by side they go, heading down the front straightaway. We got a confirmation that Michael Gregory will not make this race. That's really unfortunate for him. Oh, now he's going to absolutely, there goes Hunsaker slamming the wall. Oh my goodness. Yes, so Michael Gregory, Hunsaker Motorsports shot fire, set them back, and they're going to be requesting a chase waiver, and they will get that granted to them. A little bit of fire, and they're not able to make it to the track here in Sonoma, unfortunately. Been a very rough week of travel for these teams all over from California back to North Carolina. Some teams don't even do that. They just take their Sonoma car with them from Fontana. Of course, we had all these California races. We were in Kern as well for iCar. Been a lot going on. Got 5 minutes to go in this warm-up session. Only one of this top 7 that is not a NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series winner is Sean Rowe in 4th place right now. But Sean Rowe's day is definitely coming, if I had to say so myself. He looks really, really good. Could have won last week in Fontana. I think just didn't play as well, play his way at the end of the race. Got some laps there, but his day definitely could be coming. Of course, our newest winner, Cole Clausen, sits 9th on the board. Trent Wilkin, another guy that I could see coming to victory lane in the Cup Series pretty soon as well. Won multiple Grand National Series races in the past. And here's the 99 there of Payson Lindsay. All right. 71 of Cole Clausen back on the racetrack. There's the 50 of Connor Habrilla. And Aiden Holes here in the 42 car. This is the official Aiden Holes. Not really sure what the other Aiden Holes, who that is. I tried to figure it out. I tried to DM some people, see what's going on there, but I'm not really sure. We're just gonna call him Christian Herklotz because that's my most confident answer. So here comes Christian Herklotz down into turn 11, one of his Cup Series starts this season. Sean Rowe goes to second on the board now. Cameron Chandler off the racetrack. Speaking about Sean Rowe, I think we're going to take a little bit of a, going the wrong way, but I think let's take a little bit of a ride along with Sean Rowe. Coming through the S's here. See how he navigates it. Listen to him just work the throttle. Ooh, that's a little bit of a moment, and now I think he's going to go off the track. And, oh man, slams the tire barrier. So, let me see real quick. We got maybe the most laps of practice you can get a decent amount in, obviously not close to what you're going to get in an actual race. I think Ashton Miller might have the most, about 20 laps of practice so far. So, you can get a decent amount in here in Sonoma to get comfortable with the track, everyone on the racetrack as well, and other things. Now here comes Carlos Ortiz. Oh, up the hill he goes. Ashton Miller gets loose. Currently sits third on the board. Was really good last night in Grand National. So I said Ashton Miller, but Eli, I mean, if you had to point out somebody besides Matthew White to watch out for the win in this race, who would it be?
Probably Bryce Benson. He did very well this weekend at Sonoma and won at iCar with Matthew White's incident. But I think Bryce Benson here tonight could have a good opportunity to win tonight off the suspension, looking, trying to get back some momentum, get his points back that he lost. But I think he got very, very lucky about what happened last week at Fontana. All those crashes and mishaps that happened. Very lucky in the points to stay up there in the points. But I think Bryce Benson tonight, right now fourth in practice, has, I think, best chance here tonight.
Yeah, we will see. Bryce Benson really on the road courses. Had a bad race last night in Grand National, though. It was not his best showing, and then it ended up blowing a motor with 3 to go. All right. About a minute to go before open qualifying comes up. Matthew White 4/10 out. I think that's a little bit more than anyone was really expected due to this being the new car, but Matthew White is figuring it out pretty quickly.
But we'll say about that, Matthew White did win the race last night, but if you remember, he didn't win the pole. He finished second in the pole last night in Grand National. So we'll see. I think Sean Rowe would win the pole. That's my guess. I think Matthew White will get second again, but we'll see if he proves me wrong. I think Sean Rowe would win the pole. Yeah,
you get more laps than 1 or 2 usually on the non-super speedway races. You get as many as you can do. Obviously at a road course. Matthew White looking for what would be career win number 24 tonight in the Cup Series. On the chase for 30. Here comes Aiden Donahue. Still looking for that first league win of the season overall. Hasn't won anything so far in either 2026 or season number 5. Last league win was, I believe, in Darlington last season. And that'll do it in practice. Matthew White, top of the board to finish it off here in Sonoma. Urgent absolutely gets destroyed. And oh my God, he's on top of the tire barriers. CJ Irvin was supposed to run a Kyle Busch throwback in Fontana. He never actually ran it, and then he's running this basic paint scheme. I kind of wish he did run that Kyle Busch car, but I believe the car might have gone to Maddox Beard because he's running that tonight. All right, here we go. Open qualifying is, of course, 10 minutes for the pole. All cars in the racetrack.
It's big for Matthew White getting out first, so no one can mess with his lap. So this is his best chance for his best lap.
Yeah, it was absolutely on the button to get out into the racetrack. Here comes the 12 of Trent Wilkin, and then the 82 of Aiden Donahue, another ETR car, the 30 of Sean Hilquist, Braden Huntsicker, Ashton Miller, Cameron Chandler, Donovan Hogan. Not really a driver you expect to see up here in the top 10 in qualifying, but okay. And others. This is Connor Haverilla. We got to talk about Connor Haverilla's insane flip last week in Fontana real quick. Unbelievable. Barreled about 15 times and then somehow drove away right after that. Put in gear and then drove off like nothing happens. Oh, Ashton Miller just stopped. Oh, Cameron Chandler goes off the track as well. So you get multiple opportunities though, so you gotta take advantage of them all and try to win the pole here in Sonoma. Here comes Matthew White looking for 3 straight Sonoma victories. So good at this racetrack. Wants to try to get inside the chase as well. Chase cut line. This is going to be detrimental to Jacob Quayle if he doesn't come here in the next few minutes. Sitting 3rd in points, this is going to be probably a big loss overall. Not how he wanted to continue his storybook season, but probably doesn't own Sonoma. Some drivers have to unfortunately live with that. 28 cars going for pole tonight, a little bit smaller grid than what we've seen in the past in the Cup Series this season, but it's a road course, that's usually what happens. Here's the 82, that of Aiden Donahue. Behind him, the 77 of Braden Huntsicker, the defending Cup Series champion. Aiden's former teammate is Braden. Another really solid and underrated road course racer, Trenton Wilkin. He has a win in the Grand National Series back in Season 2 at Spa. And has really performed on the road courses, ran well and really well in Grand National last night. All right, cars on their opening laps here. We're probably going to see some cars dart down a pit road after a lap and then try to get fresh tires in the race car. Because I don't think you would improve. You might actually improve on lap 2, so we might not see that too much. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of strategies we get. Of course, all cars on the racetrack at the same time makes it very, very interesting. Matthew White so far at the top of the board. Wilkin is his 2nd back. What a lap by Matthew White so far. Donahue across the line to start his lap, I believe. Chandler now goes P2, but he's still 7 seconds behind. So, not 7 seconds, that would be insane. 7/10, but it's still pretty big. Here's Connor Haverilla. Bryce Benton will be a favorite for the top 5 qualifying position. Erdman is 5th, Stacy is 4th. Here comes Sean Rowe with 2nd in practice. Miller now goes P2, but still 4/10 behind.
Matthew White, I think, can still gain time on his qualifying lap. He was 4/10 off when compared to his practice lap.
That same thing could be said for everybody else in the racetrack, but of course he was still 4/10 better than anyone else. Sean Rowe is 11th, he's 6 seconds behind. Just probably a throwaway lap for lap 1. Once we get closer to the end of this session, we're going to see probably more and more times go up. These cars continue to get faster. Here comes Davian Tobin. It's had an okay rookie year so far. Currently sits, I believe, just inside the playoffs, or the chase, I should say. Ashton Miller is one of those guys that sits below the cut line with Matthew White, so there are a lot of veterans, a lot of proven winners coming back up, and a lot of rookies that gotta watch out that are just inside the chase. They could be, in maybe 2 weeks after Atlanta next week, they could be well outside the chase again, and the whole script could be changed and back to normal. Here is Braden Huntsicker, a little bit loose for him. Matthew White once again in. Donahue is 2nd, but Matthew White now 7/10 ahead. Unbelievable. There's Chandler, there's McMillan coming across the line. Rowe goes 2nd, but he's still half a second down. White is faster in this Gen 4 car than he was in Grand National last night, which I don't think is what we expected. Here's Sean Rowe in the 20. 79 there of Ashton Miller. 82 of Aiden Donahue. Donahue's a decent road course racer. Not the best in the league, but he gets the job done. Definitely better on the ovals. Here's CJ Erdman as well. And Aiden Donahue in the 82. Like we said, Carlos Ortiz, he's splitting this ride with Rich Cherry this season, of course. White improved again, my goodness. He's back on pit road and now going to maybe roll off one final time here. Mason Lindsay, oh, he hits the wall. Here's Christian Herklotz, we think, but it says Aiden Holes because there's a bit of a name change confusion going on. But I believe this is Christian Herklotz in the 16. Probably will be a full-time Cup Series driver in the next season or so.
Sean Opitz had a good lap, but still like almost 4/10 behind Matthew White.
I mean, but all things considered, that's, I mean, where you expect to be at this race. Matthew White is probably, I would say, probably the greatest driver at Sonoma Raceway in all of iRacing. Like, literally all of iRacing, and at least the stock car section. Holds the all-time record, I've said this before, holds the all-time record in the next gen in iRacing here at Sonoma. This isn't a next gen, this is the Gen 4, but still, it's a stock car. Here's Cameron Chandler, sits 5th.
As this time winds down, as long as you cross the line before the clock hits 0, you get to finish that next lap. So most of these guys probably need to come out the next minute or two. As long as you cross the line before it hits 000, you'll get that next lap complete. You'll count towards your lap.
See how many laps these guys can get. The choose cone, real quick, will be down by here on the chute by the Toyota sign for us. So that's where they will choose. We have one guaranteed caution tonight at the halfway break. Other than that, we could see a caution-free race excluding the halfway break like we've seen all week long. Just not really, I mean, there's been crashes, but it's a road course, so cautions aren't really needed for minor crashes. Nothing that blocks the racetrack we've had so far this week. Rowe is still 3/10 behind, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go here. Some notable drivers that put down a lap time here. Winner last week, Cole Clausen, Davian Tobin, Payson Lindsay as well, you have to put down a time. Here's Ethan McMillan. How about him sitting P11 right now, but still a lot of times yet to go and a lot of things could change here. Ashton Miller through the S's. Payson Lindsay ahead of him, still, like I said, you have to put down a time. Axel Smith as well. John Butler also. So still more drivers to come. Miller going to pull off here. He was 3rd on the board, and don't know if he's going to have enough time for one. I think he might, but it'll be close. Here comes Aiden Donahue and the 18 Maddox Beard ahead of him. New paint scheme for Maddox this week. Here they go. Final runs here from Cameron Chandler. Ashton Miller, final time on the racetrack. They're going to get out of the way of the cars that are on good laps here. They'll try to do their best with that. Aiden Donahue goes around Cameron Chandler. Here's Axel Smith. Still isn't on the board. Well, now he is actually on the board. He is currently from the line. He's 15th. Payson Lindsay is outside the top 15 as well. Here comes Sean Rowe. Sits 2nd. Oh, he gets loose here. Coming up, maybe one more good lap though. Here's Bryce Benson across the line in the 9 car. Benson is 4th. Here's Cole Clausen, winner last week in Fontana. Big career, first career win. 30 seconds to go. You got to finish your lap. You got to start your lap, and then you can finish it before the clock expires. Ortiz up to 5th. Really good lap by him. Wow, I'm thoroughly impressed by that. Aiden Donahue is now, he just got jumped by Ortiz. So did Chandler, Hunsicker, Wilkin, and more. Here's Havrilla. Havrilla currently sits outside of the top 20 in 21st. Here's Matthew White. He's not going to have enough time to start a new lap, but will he finish this one? No, he wasn't even on the time. He's going to be done here. He will be 3/10 ahead at the most on Sean Rowe. Rowe, I believe, is on one more flying lap here. Around goes Axel Smith. Across the line he goes. Axel Smith will qualify 17th for now. Here comes Wilkin, currently P10 on the board. Payson Lindsay moved up to 9th. Hunsicker is down in 8th. Hunsaker had a good run in Fontana last week. Here is the 18 of Maddox Beard, the 09 of John Butler, and Pace and Lindsay coming through the S's. Same thing with Cameron Chandler. They're on their final flying laps here. Here comes Max DiFilippi to the braking zone. Ortiz Zampero across the line goes Sean Rowe for his final lap. And he will improve, but not enough. He'll be second. But I would say still a solid improvement, better than it's probably half it of what we saw in practice. Here's Cameron Chandler, Pace and Lindsay.
He qualified the same time as he did in practice, so I mean it's still an incredible time, but Matthew White is out of this world. John Butler improved, so it's not a top 10.
Pace and Lindsay. John Butler, like we said, up to 7th, beats Cameron Chandler, Hunsaker, and Lindsay, and Wilkin. Wow, that's impressive by John Butler. Really, really impressive. I don't think anyone
improved a second over his practice time.
He was so good in iCar. We got to talk about that real quick. Ran top 5 in iCar in the main pack, so he has speed. And that'll do it. Matthew White is on pole. Believe Hunsaker might be the final one that's on a time here. He is 9th currently. Across the line he goes, trying to make any sort of improvement at the checkered flag. And he moves up. No, he doesn't actually improve. I thought he moved up. Oh. And that'll do it. Matthew White is on pole in Sonoma. What a shocker. Going for 3 straight wins at this racetrack. Don't think that's ever happened before. We've had a couple of back-to-back wins, but never 3 straight at a single track in 3 seasons. All right, we are live. We welcome you live to Sonoma Raceway tonight. This is the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season number 5 race here at Sonoma, California. We're in wine country, and we're ready to go for this one. Let's go through your top 10 starting order. Of course, Matthew White on pole, going for 3 straight wins at this racetrack, but currently sits outside of the chase in 15th place in the points. Sean Rowe going to be starting on his outside with 2 tenths down in qualifying. Will start second. Ashton Miller could be a favorite for a win tonight if things go his way. Sits third. Bryce Benton, winner in iCar this week, sits fourth. Carlos Ortiz, the big surprise inside the top 5, is going to be sitting 5th. He beats Aiden Donahue. John Butler, who is underrated at these road courses, especially Sonoma, sits 7th. Great qualifying effort for him. Cameron Chandler is going to be qualifying 8th. Your defending series champion, Braden Hunsaker, lines up 9th, and Pace and Lindsay rounds at your top 10. And the rest of the top 20 and the rest of the field eventually is rolling across the left side of your screen. All right. This is Sonoma. This is the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, and we are just about ready to go racing tonight from the road course in Sonoma. Notable drivers missing from this race. Jacob Quill, he's been absent for a little bit. Jacob Quill, who is sitting 3rd in the standings, what a great season he had. He's going to miss this race. This will drop him way down in the points, I would think. And Michael Gregory was already planned to miss this race anyways. All right, car is just about to now roll off the grid here in Sonoma for this 55-lap race from Sonoma, California. Not be doing the check down pit road due to being a road course, so halfway break at the end of lap 27. That could be the only caution we see tonight unless we have a crash. Most probably going to happen most likely if we did have one on a restart. This initial start in the race, and then of course any other restart we have throughout the rest of this race. Laps, 109 miles tonight. Pretty long race, 20 laps longer than the Grand National race last night. So we do, of course, have the halfway break. They can make it to the end on fuel to halfway, then they'll pit under the halfway break. They don't get any other cautions in the first half. Choose code will be at the chute. We're coming up to that in a minute. And it's right by where the Toyota logo is. It's right down on the straightaway, right by the wall. Here we go in Sonoma for tonight's NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series race, the first ever road course race with a Gen 4 car. Can Matthew White continue his road course glory and speed with this brand new race car at Sonoma? We will see. All right. Field goes through the S's, ready to come to green this time by. A little bit of a check up back there. It's kind of hard at these road courses when you're going double file for the green, but they usually do an okay job getting around all that. These race cars are bigger than that. Sorry.
As United had a wreck on the first couple turns, see if that changes tonight.
Yeah, obviously the other two did bring up cautions. We haven't had a single caution flag so far in this week in Sonoma between iCar and Grand National. Will that change today? It will. It will change today, but for incidents, we'll see. All right, here we go in Sonoma. Race number 4 of the Cup Series season, the first ever race with the Gen 4 car at a road course. Pace car is in. Matthew White going to lead Sean Rowe to the green flag as they make their way around turn number 11. Wine will be drank by the race winner tonight. Who will that be? White is the favorite, but any other driver could win this one tonight, and we wouldn't be surprised. Been a crazy Cup Series season so far, but we're at the first road course of the year, and we are green from Sonoma, California. Great initial start by Matthew White. He is gone, and Ashton Miller now side by side with the 20 of Sean Rose. They head up into turn 1 for the opening time. Side by side, they go for second place. White already has a bit of a lead as they head door to door between Miller and Rowe. Almost a little bit of contact with Bryce Benson behind there. Over the curbs they go, and White is pulling away already. Miller clears it into second place. Third, Sean Rowe. Side by side, Aiden Donahue in the 29 of Carlos Ortiz. Kind of a wild first lap for position. Now Bryce Benson to the inside of Sean Rowe for third. Rowe falling back even more. Everyone, though, clean away from the start. Here's Donahue. There's a couple other cars trying to go side by side through the S's. We look further back through the pack. Everyone got to try to get single file at least. Not the best spot to be door to door through these S's. We look up front. There is Rowe all the way back to fourth already. Ashton Miller in a second place, and your leader, Matthew White, will come to turn 11 at speed for the first time. Here is a move to the inside. Cameron Chandler on the Carlos Ortiz machine for sixth. Really good start for Ortiz. Lost his spot in the initial start, though. Now going to lose another one. And here comes Sean Butler up for seventh place. They go down the front straightaway to complete lap 1. Relatively clean lap 1 here in Sonoma. First time all week. As they head uphill once again on lap number 2. Here's Aiden Donahue up to 5th place. Cameron Chandler now is 6th. And there is your 7th place runner for Ortiz. Got John Butler on his bumper. And outside, just inside the top 10, is Braden Hunsicker. And there is the 12 of Trenton Wilkin. Runs in 11th.
Axel Smith's run across the finish line, but is back going.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. He's going to fall back to the last position already. Inside now, Maddox Beard here on Andrew Stacy for a spot just inside the top 15. He will take that for, I believe, 13th. Oh, Sean Rowe is really, really loose. Had to hang on to that race car. Was really good in qualifying. Only 3/10 behind Matthew White for second, but fell back to Ashton Miller. Now might have pressure from Benton in a minute. They head into 11 yet again. Opening laps at Sonoma Raceway. Ashton Miller is not letting Matthew White run off here. I believe they're just good on fuel, like I said, but not by a lot. I mean, it's going to be pretty close. That'll lead about 6/10 of a second. A little bit further back, single file action. Trying to maybe find the first side-by-side battle throughout the pack as we look through everyone coming up the hill here at Sonoma Raceway. Here is Donovan Hogan now side-by-side with the 94 Verdon for 21st position. Right behind them is the 72 of Connor Asbell. Connor did win a race here at Sonoma, but it was back in Grand National in season number 3. But he's to the inside here, 3 wide off the racetrack goes Hogan, just outside the top 20. And Asbell going to take 2 spots away from those 2 drivers. Really good move by him. Now more inside the top 10. Got to watch out for John Butler tonight, I think. He sits 8th on the leaderboard so far, but really had a good run on iCar. I was thoroughly impressed. Ashton Miller still keeping touch with Matthew White up front. come to lap number 4 in Sonoma.
Oh, we have a wreck back here. The 88 of Landon Johnson.
Johnson goes
Seems like
around.
I'll get that going.
Yeah. Oh, we got contact. Max DeFilippi has damage in the 13 car, and he's coming to pit road already. Connor Heverly, I think, got a piece of it back here. And Donovan Hogan. What happened back here real quick? We'll try to take a look.
Looks like it starts with Connor Aswell going wide.
Oh, yeah.
And then
so he goes off the track. Well, actually, I don't think it had anything to do with that. Oh, my God. Max DeFilippi just cleans himself out in front of the nose of... Oh, and then Landon Johnson comes on through. Wow. That's unfortunate for those 3. DeFilippi is back on pit road here. So is Donovan Hogan. They're trying to get some repairs. They're still in the lead lap, though. But your leader, Matthew White, is coming. That's really unfortunate for those 2. Max DeFilippi, I don't know what he was really doing. Pretty aggressive on lap 4. But all right. So they will probably be lapped here. We're going to try to get in the racetrack as soon as possible again, but very unfortunate to start their races off. Stay green. No need for a caution for a wreck for 25th place. So they will go a lap down. Here's Bryce Benton, currently runs in 4th, right behind the 20 of Sean Roan, right in front of Aiden Donahue. Bryce, of course, won iCar. Had good speed in Grand National, but got damaged, had involved in issues with Jacob Malone throughout that race, and ended up blowing up with 3 laps to go. Wants a better race tonight, currently sits P4. Looking to get some good points after being suspended in Fontana. Same thing with Aiden Donahue. Needs good points after not finishing, not even starting in Fontana, after winning the pole and then having those issues. Cameron Chandler runs in 6th. Really impressive night so far for Carlos Ortiz, running in 7th. Fell back from 5th place to his starting spot, but still holding his way inside of the top 10 right now. It's a long race in Sonoma tonight. We're only in lap 5 of 55. Drivers got to keep their head in the game all day long. I believe Max DeFilippi pulled back on the racetrack. Donovan Hogan still on pit road and now 2 laps down. DeFilippi would get the free pass right now, but caution would have to probably call pretty soon, because I would assume a couple of cars would be lapped before the stage break at least. That happens at the end of lap 27. Beautiful day in Sonoma. Up the hill they go yet again. A lot of elevation changes here at Sonoma Raceway. Cameron Chandler going a little bit wide. Off the track he goes even. And now he's going wide off the track again. And Ortiz going to take advantage of that. To the inside he goes. Big mistake there by Cameron Chandler. He goes wide, and Ortiz, I'm surprised he didn't have a slowdown penalty there. Side by side now for 6th. Very big mistake, and a rare mistake by Cameron Chandler. He falls back to 6th, and now he might have John Butler on his bumper for 7th. I'm shocked by that mistake by Cameron. Something you usually don't see him make. You see Braden Hunsinger just holding inside the top 10 right now. 11th place running is Trent Wilkin. Really impressive day so far for Ethan McMillan. This car is running in 12th. That is so impressive. And he's holding his own with Braden Hunsinger and Trent Wilkin. Obviously 2 really, really good drivers. McMillan is an underrated road course racer. He's very good at Portland, his home track. Seems so far solidly just outside the top 10 in 12th place here at Sonoma. Another driver you don't ever think about at road courses like John Butler. He's in 8th right now. So Eli, what is it like to be like Cameron Chandler here? You're running in 6th, then you make a mistake and you get passed here. Like, what is it like to make sure you don't make that same mistake again? You keep your head in the game when there's like 5 other cars coming behind you.
Well, it hurts to do that, but you can't overthink it, and you have to. I would say, we calm up for the next couple corners because your tires might be overheated, and if you try to push while your tires are overheated, you could easily spin out. But for him, I would take it careful next couple laps, regain confidence, let the tires cool down, and just run your own race. Only lost one spot in 7th. No need to worry early on. Just careful with the car here.
Yeah, that's for sure. Connor Asbell, I'm not really sure what just happened to him. If he can disconnect, yeah, he disconnected out. Wow, Connor Asbell on lap 8, some sort of issue, and he's out. That is not what he wanted to see. Came into this race with.
He wrecked.
Oh, that's what happened. I will try to get an angle of that real quick for you guys. Let's look to see what happened to Connor Asbell.
Gonna hit the wall. Self-incident,
oh yeah.
Looks like.
So running by himself to the chute he goes, and just, oh man, into the wall really hard, out of the way of everybody, and he resets, so no caution was thrown for that. It's different in iRacing, especially cautions at road courses, because I mean, usually you can get out of the way pretty nicely. Oh! Hillquit just had an issue. He got really loose in the 30 car.
We have a battle here, looks like, for about the 9th to 12th.
Yeah, it's starting to get tough up here. There's Braden Hunsaker in 9th, Mason Lindsay in 10th. John Butler now maybe falling a little bit further back on the 7 of Matthew Weiss. They come into turn 11 yet again. Cameron Chandler trying to rerun down that 29 of Carlos Ortiz. They'll head off turn 11 to lap 9 in this race at Sonoma. We had a couple of wrecks. We had that wreck happen before with Max DeFilippi. They all got fired up again. No major hazards there, so everyone was okay. DeFilippi back on the racetrack, and then Connor Asbell spins by himself outside the top 20, hits the wall, but resets, and we're back. We stay green. Here is Sean Rowe, runs 3rd. Has pressure now from Bryce Benson on his bumper. Two seconds the gap between Ashton Miller and Matthew White. Ashton Miller's had a really strong weekend for him, but wants to cap it off with a Cup Series win. This will be the 2nd of his career, first here of season number 5, but really needs a good run all the way around. Sits outside of the chase easily. Ashton Miller, pull it up real quick. After winning his dual race, it's been all downhill ever since. Currently sits 21st in the standings. A run like this would definitely help, even if he wasn't the win. 2nd in the stage and maybe a top 5 in the race would be absolutely perfect for Ashton Miller. But even say that, you still have guys like Matthew White, Sean Rowe, Bryce Benton, Nathan Donahue, Cameron Chandler, John Butler, Hunsaker, Lindsey Wilkin, and others inside of the top 10 or around it that would also need those points. So he's got to finish really strong here to get himself into a better position. A little bit further back, Cameron Chandler now runs 7th. Here is Payson Lindsay just inside the top 10. Had almost a career day, not including super speedways at Fontana. Probably should have won that race. But unfortunately, things went wrong in the end. All right, there is Trenton Wilkin now actually being ran down almost by Ethan McMillan. Here is Christian Herklotz. He got 14th runner Payson Lindsay, Andrew Stacy, and there is your winner last week, Cole Clausen, the 71, currently runs 15th in this race. Maddox Beard runs 16th. He also is one of those drivers that needs points. Same thing with Aiden Holes. Davin Tobin, the ETR driver, runs in 18th spot. 19th, Axel Smith, after almost spinning on lap 1 and running her top 20 currently, is CJ Erdman. A little further back. After the big flip last week, Connor Haverler runs in 22nd. There is 23rd, 36th, William Reagan. At least he's on the racetrack for 24th place, Brandon Pfeiffer. This would be the best finish of his season so far if he finished like this. Max DeFilippi, I don't know really if he's on the racetrack. I think he is.
He came to pit road because it looks like his engine blew up.
Oh, that's unfortunate for him. Landon Johnson might have come, yeah, he came to pit road as well, so he might be getting some service here. And blowing up the motor is the 13 of DeFilippi. He is going to be done, I would say, for him. missions in the back, that's something like a driver, Brandon Pfeiffer, could take advantage of. Currently still runs 24th, but more of those things happen, he could get a top 20 in this race, which doesn't seem like much, but for him, it would be a lot, considering how the season has gone.
Yeah, I think right now he's probably the most laps raced this season in a race. I think most of his races have been done usually lap 1, so as Lane Johnson has left. So it looks like Lane Johnson's night is over.
Yeah, already 4 cars out of the race on lap 12. So one car blew up, the other one wrecked himself. That was Connor Aswell, got loose and then ended up hitting the wall pretty hard. Reset the pit road though, no caution came out, and then Hogan and Johnson were involved in that crash earlier. And too much damage to continue. Donnie is beginning to almost be run down by Carlos Ortiz, Cameron Chandler, John Butler, and more. Fine. So like we said, a long race today. Got to keep your head in it all day long, especially that it's a road course.
So honestly, some guys start to come down pit road here. Looks like finally we got one lead car pit, William Reagan. But I don't know. It seems like a couple. We've already had like 3 or 4 pit here, but we'll see what the strategy is.
Reagan comes to his pit stall here to service his race car. DeFilippi is yet to retire, so he's still here, but Reagan will not be lapped. Here's Matthew White across the line in the 7th. Road course is definitely a struggle for some of these drivers. This is a mostly oval league. There's only 2 road courses in the Cup Series this season. The only other one this year is, of course, Watkins Glen, but road course aces basically hold the top 10 spots, mostly. Besides Mason Lindsay, he's not a road course ace at all. And Hunsaker, I don't think is at either, but still holds 9th because he's your defending series champion. He's still good really anywhere, but not an ace at the road courses. Sean Rowe, underrated road course racer, currently sits 3rd, which was only 2/10 off Matthew White for qualifying. Reagan, of course, brought that thing, the first lead lap car to pit for service, I believe. Probably fire back on to the racetrack pretty soon, I would have to imagine. He is, I think.
Looks like William Reagan has retired.
Another retirement in this race, wow. I mean, it's definitely rough with this Gen 4 car at these road courses. Not a lot of drivers have experience doing that, and I would say there's definitely those bottom 5. I mean, I don't think anyone, let's be real here, I don't think anyone with the grid this season expects them to make the chase or anything. Some sort of mechanical closure there for Reagan.
Looks like I have battle for 22 with Sean Hillbridge.
That's for about 22nd place. We'll try to check on it a little bit. Donovan Hogue is back on the racetrack, by the way. So he actually has not retired. He's looking to pass here, which would not be for position on Brandon Pfeiffer. The only Giesbrecht car in this race. Rodriguez isn't here. Tomlin is suspended. Giesbrecht, the team owner, is part-time anyways. So, and here comes the 7 of Matthew White. Once again, your leader. Close the gap, upping the gap to lap about 3.9 seconds here on lap 14 in Sonoma. But not pulling away like he usually used to do here at Sonoma by like 50 seconds, which was unbelievable that he's done the last couple of seasons.
John Butler's getting close to pass Cameron Chandler here on his bumper.
Wow. I mean, I said John Butler, watch out for him tonight, could be a top 10 threat. Currently runs 8th and looking to chase down your points leader entering Cameron Chandler. And Cameron, this isn't very good for his points. For the lead at least, it's 7th. It might even be 8th in a minute. Tire smoke, I believe that was a little bit of lockup by Ortiz. Up the hill they go yet again here in Sonoma. Here's John Butler trying to close up to the bumper of Cameron Chandler. He almost gets a little bit wide there. In that 09. For these drivers in the top 10, definitely a lot of them like road courses. Some drivers don't really like road courses. You see maybe drivers like Davian Tobin currently runs 23rd. Brandon Pfeiffer currently runs 22nd. Tobin, I don't know what happened to him now. Oh, we got a car going off the
He is
racetrack.
right also.
Wow. And there is the 50 of Connor Havrilla. Now you got some lap traffic for your leader, Matthew White. Brandon Pfeiffer is pitting. Oh, Havrilla has a little bit of a moment as they head down the front straightaway. Ashton Miller, I thought he was pitting. No, he's not. All right. I'm completely blind. And here comes your leader, Matthew White, starting to get some lap traffic. White blows into the bumper of the 50 of Havrilla. Havrilla will just move out of the way. He's pretty well off the pace compared to Matthew White. We're on lap 16 here in Sonoma. Now, just over 10 laps to go to the halfway break. Here is Bryce Benton now coming to the bumper here. Battle for third between him and Sean Rowe. Riding along with Benton now. He gets a little bit loose. We go through the S's. Sort of smoke up there. I'm not really sure what that was. Maybe a bit of a lockup for somebody. As they will head down this front straightaway yet again from Sonoma Raceway. And up the hill, back through one. We're running course along with Bryce Benton. We're trying to chase down Sean Rowe for third place. Rowe is having a bit of a moment again, but Benton also sliding around. These cars definitely pretty loose at the road courses. But they're still drivable. Here we go. Battle for third place. Benton close into the bumper of Sean Rowe. Connor Havrilla, the lap car, will be in the way pretty soon as these two battle for P3. Through the S's, there's Ashton Miller, now second, of course. They will catch the lap car of Havrilla. Again, a loose moment by Sean Rowe. He's almost in the grass a little bit. Tires maybe starting to go away from this 20 car. And Benton gonna try to pounce. Will he make an aggressive move? Don't think he's close enough to make anything happen down into turn 11. And he will not. Head down the front straightaway yet again. Matthew White has now started lapping inside of the top 20 with Sean Hilquich here on lap 18 in Sonoma. Bryce Benton still on the bumper of that 20 of Sean Rowe. Battling for third place. Oh, crash! Ahead of some of your leaders. Around goes the 50 of Connor Havrilla. We'll give him a second here to try to get fired up again. Hopefully he does. I think there's going to be cleared track. Oh, yes he will. All right. So, goes around, but fires that thing back up again. And coming up is Braden Hunsinger. He's going to try to get out of the way, but very scary spin ahead of Sean Rowe and Bryce Benton there. Luckily, nothing else happens, and he's able to get fired up again, and we stay green.
Trent Wilkin was bad for 11th here and then spun, and he has left. So another guy that has retired, Trent Wilkin here. It looks like he just spun on the front stretch. Didn't really hit anything, but I think he called it a day after that.
Wow, are you kidding me? Unbelievable. That's so unfortunate for Trent Wilkin. We're going to have to try. I want to take a look at that in a minute. If I can get to it, there's not a battle between Sean Rowe and Bryce Benton. It's not too close. Let's try to see what happened with Trent Wilkin. We have seen so many retirements already. That's really unfortunate. Not what we want to see. So here comes Sean, or I should say Trent Wilkin was battling, was just inside of the top 15. Oh, it just spins all by himself. I don't know why he retired, to be honest. That's... I don't why he retired. That's unfortunate.
Because now looks like the battle for Sean Rowe is starting to get close here.
Yeah, Bryce Benson has been all over the back bumper of that 20 car for a while now. Just trying to find a way around him. And yeah, that's another car out of the race. That was a strong contender. I mean, he was running 11th. Oh, we got a car on the wall. It's Sean Hillquich, and he has damage now. He keeps going in the right direction.
Bryce puts on the inside.
Yeah. Side by side down the front straightaway for P3 between Rowe and Benton. Rowe started second. Benton started, I believe, fourth, where he runs right now, but still trying to get up in the third place. And he's going to try to make a crossover move down to the inside again. On his bumper, heading into turns 1 and 2. Still cannot find a way around, though. Doing everything he can. Oh, that was almost the go around for the 20 of Sean Rowe. Got really loose. As they head into the hard braking zone yet again, but if Benson can keep it on Rowe's bumper for a little bit and then be there to the turn 11, he should hopefully maybe have a shot at getting the spot. See if he can get close enough. Down at 11 they go, but again, I think Rowe just has a good enough advantage. He's a little bit better in this second part of the racetrack and allows himself to have that nice cushion. Benson, of course, got there last time around, but wasn't able to make anything with it, and now Aiden Donahue goes wide. Ortiz battles in 6th, still running 7th is Cameron Chandler 8th, John Butler 9th, Braden Hunsicker, and running at your top 10 is Payson Lindsay, but he is loose. Gap for the lead, about 5 seconds between Matthew White and Ashton Miller. Then back to third.
Oh, we got
Sean
a spinner. 16. Stuck right in front of pit lane.
He goes around, and that's going to be, I think, Nate Dunn. Another one. What happened to him? So running by himself.
Looks like he pushed a little too hard, and it hit the wall, and his car just spun and hit the barrier.
Oh, a little bit airborne there. Into the pit road he goes for a crash, out of the way, and he resets, no caution. It's another one, man. As they head back into turn 11, Benson still don't think he's close enough to Rowe. This field has just been going away tonight. That's not good. Oh, Havrilla, another one. Oh my goodness, what is happening? Hillquich as well retired. What on earth? What happened to Havrilla now? Just lost it. Oh, it was a lap down anyways, but hard in the wall he goes. That's going to be it. He's done. What? I mean, let's see at this point. It's a staggering amount of drivers, all things considered. Holes, or Herklotz, Havrilla, Hillquich, Wilkin, Tobin, Reagan, Johnson, DeFelipe, and Asbel all out of the race already. Just so many mistakes being made. And we got a battle for 10th. Between Payson Lindsay and Ethan McMillan, who's having a really solid day in P11. Odd drivers just hoping for the end now of the stage here coming up. That's just what happens. New car at a new track, like a first ever road course, the Gen 4 at Sonoma. Things happen like this, and it's been unfortunate to see so far tonight. Just all part of it. As here we go, down into turn 11. Hard braking zone yet again. All right, coming pretty close to the end of the stage here. If you just get through it without losing any more cars would be nice. heading up the hill yet again here in Sonoma. Battle for 10th continues. I want to check on the battle here between Benton and Rowe. It's still Rowe holding onto the advantage. 6 seconds now between Miller and White for the lead, and here's a lapper, 40 of Brandon Piper. Payson Lindsay runs 10th right now. We've seen so many issues tonight. Not all things considered the greatest run for Lindsay. But he's not really known as a road course driver, so maybe for him it's a good run. Of course, like we said, halfway break at the end of lap 27. We've got about 4 to go to the halfway break this time by. Oh my goodness. Here comes Ethan McMillan on the bumper of Lindsay. As they head into turn 11. Down this front stretch yet again.
We have a battle for fifth of A. Donahue. All of his bumpers, Carlos Ortiz, been trying to get past him the past couple laps.
Yeah, we've seen multiple battles here where drivers are just trying to get on each other's bumpers to pass each other. We haven't really seen too many of those passes actually happen. Another one here between Donahue and Ortiz. Ortiz, yeah, I think he's having the most impressive run tonight in 6th place and battling with such a great driver, Aiden Donahue, right now. They head through the S's and coming down into turn number 10. The run to turn 11 again. Oh, Ortiz had a loose moment here. He saves the race car. John Butler on the bumper of Cameron Chandler here through turn 11. First 25 laps so far on these tires. The amount of power in this Gen 4 car, that's a lot of a road course like Sonoma, where there's so much finesse going on. I mean, these cars are screaming for tires. And fuel as well, probably, for some of them. And they'll get it all at the halfway break, coming up in just a few short laps. Really loose moment for John Butler in the 09. So we may have to manually throw the caution because the stage thing is acting up a little bit, so once the top 10 throw across the line, the caution will come out. It's still going to be, again, 40 seconds between that and the caution coming out because Mason Lindsay runs 10th and he's 40 seconds behind your leader, Matthew White. So it would take a while, definitely a lot longer than we usually see at road courses, or I should say ovals. Benton has kind of dropped away from Sean Rowe, and now he's got the lap car Brandon Piper to deal with. To the inside he goes, and Piper gets out of the way. He's going to go 2 laps down.
Ain't Donahue down pit road.
Oh, that's a... All right, so Ortiz... Yeah, so pit strategy here going on. So they come to 2 to go on the stage. They can pit now. This is the last time they could have pit. This pit road is going to close, I believe. So, actually, pit road is not closed. It's the iRacing stage issue. So they actually get 1 more extra lap. Closes with 1 to go today. And here comes Donahue, Ortiz. Bit of a pit strategy here. They pit now, and then they stay out the stage. This is what you do if you're not going for points. Aiden Donahue, I'm surprised he's not going for points, but getting aggressive for the win. Ortiz is part-time. I'm not surprised he isn't. I'm a little bit surprised for Payson Lindsay. Of course, needs points. He pits.
Yeah, make sure you kind of light from Matthew White. But if you're going to beat Matthew White, you have to do something different. You can't do the same thing as he does. So I understand these guys pitting here. Some of these guys in the back could have picked because how fast Matthew White's going. If they would have pitted, they'd probably been a lap down.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to have happen to you. As Matthew White comes to 1 to go in the stage this time by. Here in Sonoma, got a 7-second lead on Ashton Miller, and Payson Lindsay is going to be trapped the lap down now. But he would get the free pass and then would get the waiver on anyways, but so won't really matter too much, I don't think. He's going wide on cold tires here. Got to be careful. Donnie might get stage points because a lot of cars pitted behind him. He is 10th right now. So that would take a long time for the stage to actually eventually come out then. The caution, please. Matthew White just looking to bring it home. There is Ashton Miller runs second. Sean Rowe up the hill with Bryce Benson. Aiden Holes has a little bit of front end damage. Just trying to bring it over to the stage to maybe try to repair that. Cameron Chandler trying to hold on. John Butler, the 77 there. Hunsaker, Matthew White's teammate. There is Andrew Stacy runs 9th with some pit strategy going on. And Aiden Donahue still is somehow holding on to 10th place with the 29 of Ortiz. These three battling just outside the top 10. Cole Clausen as well. And here comes Matthew White. So let's see the green-white checkered flag this time by. But we'll still have to wait a little bit for the staged caution to officially come out. To the green-white checkered flag, Matthew White is going to win the stage here in Sonoma. Second place across the line will be Payson Lindsay. Or, no, it's going to be Ashton Miller, I'm sorry. Payson Lindsay a lap down. Third, coming across the line, Sean Rowe is able to hold on. He's going to finish third here in the stage. Fourth place.
Oh, he got a wreck here.
Not a good
Looks
time.
like Max Beard here.
Trying to see where that actually was. Oh, yeah, there he is off the track. He's now going to be put a lap down from this. Top 10 across the line. There's Ethan McMillan got in the top 10, some pit strategy going on. Here comes Andrew Stacy in 9th. And Aiden Donahue going to be the final one over the line. Ortiz on his bumper now as they head through turn 11 for the final time. Once Donahue across the line, Ortiz goes really wide. The stage caution will come out. All right. And Donahue across the line.
On a lap.
Well, I mean, the stage is supposed to be a end of lap 27, so I'm not really sure what's going on then. Now Matthew White officially wins the stage. The stage caution should come out now. Nothing changes. It's an extra lap being ran for whatever reason. Maddox Beard, though, a lap down from this. So it's White, Miller, Rowe, Benton, Chandler here in 5th. It's going to be John Butler 6th. Look at this little bit going on. Aiden Holes, I think, got to put a lap down. Hunsaker runs 7th. Holes is no front. That front bumper is waving. Hunter across the line in 7th. McMillan going to cross the line in 8th now. I think we're finally going to finish the stage. My goodness. Now the caution's out. All right. Finally.
And Aiden Donahue, who did pit, will get a stage point. So he will get a point and will get the lead as long as he doesn't, which he should have to pit here. If Matthew White dominated, we only have now 12 cars in the lead lap. The first car lap down, Axel Smith will get the free pass.
Unbelievable first half. A lot of retirements. We saw about, 8 retirements in this race so far. That's insane. It's a road course with this brand new race car, so I wouldn't say to be expected, but I'm not. I guess I'm not extremely surprised, but I am definitely a lot more than I initially thought what we would see. All right, but the halfway break is out, and they will come to the pace car here. Matthew White will. He will get picked up by that. What a first half. Matthew White won by about 7 seconds for the stage, but we'll have some pit strategy here. Some cars staying out. I think Payson's going to have to stay out to just take the wave around to get back on the lead lap. He already pitted. Some drivers, though, being trapped a lap down anyways from just Matthew White's insane pace. Oh, a lot went on in that first half. It's pretty enjoyable, though. The first half with the Gen 4 car at a road course. No cautions, though. No need for a caution, as I'm not really sure. They're trying to figure out what's going on over here. It's the lap cars. And Matthew White will pit this time by. We'll be right back in Sonoma. So Matthew White will bring his car to pit road this time by your leader right now. But Aiden Donahue, all things considered, if everything goes right, should cycle around to the lead here. which should make things pretty interesting. All right. Here we go. White will come to pit with Ashton Miller and all the other cars that didn't pit. Payson stays out. Axel Smith also stays out. Here they come. And the first car that should stay out officially to take the lead should be Aiden Donnie. Ortiz does the same, and I think Payson Lindsay would have been in third, but now that's unfortunate. He got straps the lap down, and he will be restarting at the tail end of the longest line, I think. Here they come to pit road. The halfway break in Sonoma. Like the longest half of all time, but here they come to pit. Matthew White, the #1 pit stall. Ashton Miller behind him. There they come Sean Rowe, Bryce Benson, and others. 4 fresh Goodyear tires, as much fuel as you need. And Matthew White easily wins the race off pit road. Second will be Miller. No changes there. Third was the lap down. Third, Bryce Benson. I think, yeah, he beat Sean Rowe. Wow. 4th, third off pit road. 4th, Rowe. 5th, Cameron Chandler. 6th, Steven on John Butler. 7th is the 77 of Ray Hunsinger. And others rolling off behind him. Really good pit stop by Bryce Benson. He now leapfrogged Sean Rowe. So they will come back up. This is where the shoes will be next time by. All right, we'll be right back in Sonoma. All right, under the halfway break here in Sonoma, we welcome you back live. Aiden Donahue now leads. Carlos Ortiz is second. They both stay out. First car that, well, they pitted right before the stage break. They give up some stage points, but we will not choose right here. We're going to choose at the chute. They will stay single file for now. They should at least. Not go double file. All right. So I would say, Eli, pretty interesting first half. Like, what do we expect maybe in the second half? More the same or more now aggressive racing with Matthew White trying to get back up to the lead?
I'd say a lot more aggressive racing here because if the shoes count goes how it is, Matthew White's starting the second row, and Ashton Miller has really been very impressive. Kind of keeping pace with Matthew White. Matthew White hasn't really pulled away as much as I thought. So Ashton Miller here, if he get a good restart, he get in front of Matthew White, he get it interesting here. Plus, this could be the final restart for all we know. We could have a couple more. We'll see. But I think it's going to be very interesting of how much these guys battle because knowing this could be the final restart and these guys have a chance of passing Matthew White here. It's probably the closest you can get.
As we come to the choose here at the chute, Donahue will go inside as they choose behind them. There's not really a way to officiate going over the line because there's no line here. So I guess you just choose where you choose. There's access, but some cars being trapped lap down here, unfortunately for them. All right, we'll see what Matthew White can do in that second row. We're going to restart in lap 33. Pretty long halfway break, all things considered. But we get ready for the restart. This is the first caution all week. The first time we've used that choose cone at the chute. Might be the last time. I don't know, but if we have some sort of accident here, the aggression we could see in a minute, it might not be. A lot of DNFs in the first half. What will we see in the second half? Some incidents, single cars. We saw a bit of a crash that happened earlier with a couple of cars involved. So get ready for this restart. All right, pace car is in. We're now well over halfway through this race in Sonoma. Coming to lap 33 for the restart. Ortiz has got to catch back up here. Can't jump on Donahue. Donahue controls the restart as they will come back into the restart zone here in Sonoma. Back to green. Well over halfway. We're back underway in Sonoma. Decent restart for Donahue. He's clear on Ortiz, who now is almost clear on Matthew White. And here comes Ashton Miller as well as they head up the hill for the opening time in the second half. Here's Matthew White, though, to the inside of Ortiz. Now Ortiz moves the 82 of Donahue wide. And now Matthew White side by side with Donahue. And Bryce Benton for third place behind him. Ashton Miller lost a couple of spots. Here comes Hunsicker. Oh, Donahue spins! And Matthew White's got damage. Off the track goes Aiden Donahue. And they're starting to be crashing again. They all save it, besides Aiden Donahue, who gets it back going in the right direction
Bryce
again.
In the lead.
And Benton takes the lead. It's a mess back here. 3 wide action. Man. Trying to go side by side all over the place. Benton is your new leader. How about that? Matthew White back to 9th. He's got some traffic and he's got damage in the 7 car, most importantly. Wow, can you believe it? No caution.
You have to take off here because you know Matthew White is upset. He's going to go as hard as he can here. So get as much of the gap as you can if you're these guys up front like Bryce Benson and Carlos Ortiz and Braden Hunsicker if you want a chance.
Yeah, there he is back to the inside. Didn't lose too many spots. Didn't officially spin out or anything. Aiden Donahue was the big loser in that one. As they go side by side here for 8th place. He will easily pass John Butler now on the bumper of Andrew Stacy, but he slides in the 7. Remember, he does have that damage. How much will that affect him? Can he drive his way back up through the field? Up front, Ortiz now, how about him running in 2nd? Braden Hunsicker now runs 3rd, Ashton Miller 4th, Cameron Chandler 5th. I thought Ashton was going to be able to be the one to take advantage of all of that, but ultimately ended up getting a pretty terrible restart. And still now runs 4th, even a spot worse, actually 2 spots worse than before. And Bryce Benton, your new leader.
7 passing Stacy there on the inside. Then a dive bomb but made stick. Trying to catch with Sean Rowe now.
Andrew Stacy now has a little bit of a battle here with John Butler in the 09. Aiden Donahue after that spin. Luckily for him, there aren't a ton of cars outside the top 15 on the lead lap, and he currently now runs 13th. A lot of cars trapped the lap down currently. So they head through turn 11. Brent Piper's on right now. I'm not really sure. Mason Miller's name kind of thrown away on the leaderboard right now. Sliding up the racetrack is that 96 of Andrew Stacy. Side by side with John Butler again. They head to the chute yet again in Sonoma. An absolutely wild start to the second half of the race. Oh, Butler blinks. I don't think Stacy realized he blinked and nearly contact, and Stacy almost got sent around. Not blinking here again with John Butler. There's Payson Lindsay. With all this going on now, he still runs 10th. So, yeah. Aiden Donahue up to 13th place. But still not what he wanted to see. Gets spun around after taking that aggressive strategy. Still not out of anything yet, but not what he wanted to see. Now we get a long train of cars from first all the way back now to Matthew White As here's John Butler again trying to make the move on the 96 of Stacy. Still there behind him. Stacy off the line he goes once again, trying to defend on Butler. Side by side, up to the hill they go. Stacy loose once more. Butler still cannot find a way around him. Stacy goes a little bit wide, and John Butler definitely is the faster car, trying to get around him as soon as possible. Oh my God, he is doing everything he can back there. Oh, Payson Lindsay goes around by himself, slides back up nearly into traffic, but ends up hitting it back in the right direction, and we'll keep on going. Aiden Donahue through the grass a little bit. He gets around Lindsay, and Lindsay, I think, going to fall to 13th. Could have been a lot worse for drivers like Payson Lindsay and Aiden Donahue if there were not so many retirements in the first half. And now way wide goes Andrew Stacy. He's going to lose one, probably two spots now to Cole Clausen. John Butler in 8th place. Now Clausen side by side is the battle for 9th. Up front real quick, 0.2 of a second between Carlos Ortiz and Bryce Benson. They're all good on fuel. We know that for a fact. This is a shorter run than the first stage, guaranteed. But Carlos Ortiz, what a run he's having. Trying to get to the bumper of Bryce Benson now. Got a long train here, 7 cars for the lead. The driver of the 7 back there in 7th, trying to make something happen. Just behind Sean Rowe, but still has that pretty big front end nose damage. It's knocked in very well, and then some back end damage as well. That's definitely not helping his race car. And this thing looks, I don't know if it's just Matthew White driving angry, but that thing is really loose. The looks of it. Now here comes Sean Rowe on the inside of Cameron Chandler, almost a little bit of contact. Rowe was trying to get around Chandler for a little bit. Chandler was defending, and they're side by side, heading down the front straightaway. For 5th place. Rowe is trying to take this spot away to get back inside the top 5. Chandler hasn't really been inside the top 5 all day long until now, but might get taken away here. Matthew White trying to make his way in there as well, and Chandler goes wide off the grass and almost goes around, but saves the car and falls back to 7th. Now Matthew White all over the back bumper of Sean Rowe. Trying to drive his way back up through the field. This thing could get really interesting towards the end, with White trying to retake the lead if he actually can get there. Still a lot of passing to do for him. After a near spin.
He's had the lap times. He's been on pace, if not better, than Bryce Benson. He's had the fastest lap the past 2 laps, so speed is not an issue. It's the fact that you get by these guys cleanly and not waste a lot of time trying to catch Bryce Benson in the lead.
Yeah. Originally, obviously, he had the fastest car of the race, won the pole, led all the laps in the first half. He has the fastest car on track, but with damage, still doesn't really seem to be affected too much, at least. Sure, it's not perfect, but could definitely be worse for Matthew White. Cole Clausen got passed by Aiden Donahue, and now Donahue, here he comes, trying to get around Andrew Stacy for 9th place. Up the hill they go with 17 laps to go in Sonoma. The gap now almost 1 second. Bryce Benson has begun to pull away from Carlos Ortiz and others. Maybe getting the notice that Matthew White is charging hard behind everybody.
Here comes Hunsinger for 2nd.
That in a second. There we go. Here comes Braden Hunsicker. Like Eli said, Ashton Miller back there as well. He's going to aggressively make his way to the inside on Ortiz. Ortiz had a great fire off speed, but ultimately now, a few laps into the run, is starting to fall off. He is doing everything he can to defend on Braden Hunsicker. Hunsicker's going to probably just be there. He might be there even before turn 11. Goes wide as the 29. Here he is to the inside for 2nd place. Ashton Miller tries to follow in line behind them. for P2. Oh, Hunsicker almost goes into the door of the 29. Ortiz gets loose again, and now Miller's going to come up to him. They're side by side still, though, with Hunsicker, and he clears them for P2. Now Miller on the charge behind Ortiz. Here he is. On his bumper. Oh, he's going to go around. Around goes Carlos Ortiz, and they're going to pile up.
Oh,
Big crash. Caution.
this.
Caution is out. Multiple cars involved. Carlos Ortiz spins. There is Aiden Donahue. The caution is out for the first time for incident all week long. Oh, and Matthew White door slams Aiden Donahue. And Sean Rose got big front end damage, and Ortiz just got popped around by, I believe it was Ashton Miller. Let's see what happens. Yes, it was. That's unfortunate. So Miller just all over the bumper of him. There was still 16 to go. Just a little bit too aggressive, a little bit of contact. That was it. And then look at this. They pile up. Sean Rowe gets airborne. Matthew White has more damage. And Cameron Chandler gets popped. Oh, my goodness. And then John Butler tries to take avoiding action. They were in the middle of the racetrack. And a caution comes out. First time all week for incident. Let's ride along here with Sean Rowe. Just back here minding his own business. And ultimately, I think he has the most damage. Literally nowhere to go. Oh my goodness, it gets ran under from behind and just, wow. So unfortunate. That's what you get with this being ran under from behind like that with this Gen 4 car from the blimp.
What happened to Aiden Donahue? It looks like he spun out not too long ago. When the caution came out that next quarter, he gave a bump to Matthew White, and it looks like he spun on his own.
Yeah, look at Cameron Chandler just get a piece of it. So I want to see that real quick with Donahue and White. They were side by side. This is under caution. Matthew White door slams Donahue, and I don't think Donahue appreciated that. I don't know if Matthew was trying to do that. Aiden definitely didn't appreciate it. Got to the bumper of Matthew, roughed them up a little bit.
Then right here he spins out.
Oh my God! Over the curb. Oh wow. Goes around and loses, I think, all that time. I don't think he's going to get those spots back then. My goodness. Well, that changes a lot. Ashton Miller's got the front nose damage. Chandler didn't get too much at all, I don't think, from the outside of the race car. Missing the front end now is Sean Rowe. And there's Matthew White in the 7. Second caution of the day. First one for cause.
And with that caution, John Butler was up to 5th. And who knows, if these two guys, well, I think Ashton Miller pits ahead of him, and maybe Cameron Chandler, who was involved a little bit, he could be up to 3rd, but we'll see. I expect Ashton Miller to pit here. His front end's hanging off, but John Butler barely through, had to go in the grass, but got through, and he's up to 5th.
I mean, yeah, John Butler, we mentioned early in the race, watch out for him today. I mean, that prediction is coming through. He nearly got involved in that crash, had to make avoiding action. Luckily, he avoids it all. And definitely the first caution-worthy wreck of the weekend. That was definitely caution-worthy. We're going to see who pits. 15 laps to go.
I expect these guys that got involved in the wreck pit, maybe Matthew White stays out. I doubt it.
Hunsicker. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. No, and everyone pits. Wow.
Everybody. Wow.
Okay. Here they come. Anyone stay out? McMillan? But I think he's a lap down. Only the cars that stayed out were laps down. Yeah, every lead lap car pits.
That's interesting. I expect maybe some of these guys maybe stay out, but we'll see here how Pitbull goes. We can get the lead here.
All right. This is late in the going in this race. Caution is out. I think some drivers are going to attempt to take the wave around if you're a lap down.
See if they got to take 2 tires. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Could be interesting for strategy. A lot of them do have damage, though. Keep that in mind. Matthew White, another car that has damage, but still trying to make something happen. Here they go. 4 Fish Goodyear tires for at least Bryce Benson. Hunsicker had a good stop back there. Here they come off pit road. Benson's going to win the race off pit road. Second will be Braden Hunsicker. Third, John Butler. How about that? Andrew Stacy off 4th. And Matthew White
does not decide to repair damage, so he's going to try to stay up there.
A lot of cars back here repairing. It's like 4 or 5 of them. They're all going to try to repair as much damage as possible. I mean, I'm not really sure if I agree with Matthew White not repairing the car. I mean, maybe it's nothing terminal, but look at that thing. It's pretty torn up. Two pretty hard licks there.
Yeah, but I think how great he is here. I think he still has a chance here. He looks like he's going to restart inside the top. Let's see, looks like he's starting to restart fifth. So I don't know. I mean, if he decided to stay in pit road, he probably would have lost maybe like 5 or 6 spots. But we'll see if it pays off here. I don't know. I don't know how bad the damage is. We'll see though.
Remember the shoes next time by, it'll of course be at the chute. Probably going to restart with about 12 laps to go here. A couple cars staying out here to try to get their laps back with the wave around in free pass.
After all that, Cole Clausen's up to 6th, last week's winner.
How about that? Looking for 2 in a row would be definitely a stretch here at Sonoma, but you never know. Crazier things have happened. Sean Rowe is still on pit road, that one driver. He has that front end damage, but he got the nose back, and he's going to try to get back on the racetrack for shoes. All right. So, well, like I said, Shoes is not at the start-finish line at road courses. Since it's going to be at the chute today. Second time we're going to be doing the Shoes today, working the second caution of the night. First one for incident all week long. Well, it's been a pretty wild race. Well, first half went, besides the DNFs that we had, the first half was pretty calm, but second half now it's gotten heated up again.
It has, and last restart, Bryce Benson came from 5th to get the lead, and then guess who's in 5th right now? Matthew White. So I don't know if all the traces can happen what happened last time, but we'll see. It's coming crunch time now. I think Matthew White still has a chance here as we now come to the shoes.
Benson goes inside, Hunsaker goes outside, Butler goes with him. That'll give the third row to Matthew White. Of course, pitted behind here, Ashton Miller. Not what he wanted to see now inside the top 10. Here's Sean Rowe and others trying to catch back up. All right, we're going to have 12 laps to go once we go back green here in Sonoma. This could get wild. Who knows? Oh, Ashton Miller. Had a step on the brakes back there behind Cameron Chandler. Bryce Benson doesn't want to think, but the last time he was on a road course in the Cup Series is when he was suspended after Watkins Glen. I don't remember, Eli, if you were in the race with me, if you were in the booth with me for that race, but it got pretty wild, especially with Benson at the end of the race. All right, here we go. 12 laps remaining in Sonoma. Car's going tail into the longest line back there. Sean Rowe trying to catch up. As we get ready for this restart, can Matthew White, with the damage he has, try to run everyone down? He's got the fastest car ultimately on the racetrack, but how much will that damage affect him? 12 remaining in Sonoma. Bryce Benson in your control car. Side by side with Braden Hunsaker. You gotta restart. There we go. Oh my goodness. Hunsaker almost wrecks. He saves the car. Thank God, because that would have been a huge wreck down the front straightaway. As we go for the lead, for second, I should say, Matthew White now on the bumper of Andrew Stacy. He's going to get there as they go. Andrew, Aiden Donahue, the 3 wide almost behind here. Double file, everyone trying to make up spots. Matthew White under pressure from the 77 Hunsaker again, but he's door to door with John Butler in the 09. Benson, he's just trying to pull away as soon as possible.
Right up the third.
Yeah, here comes White, side by side, trying to almost rough up the 09 car. But here comes Hunsaker to the inside of Butler now. Ortiz trying to close back up here. He's on fresh tires. Well, actually, everyone's on fresh tires. What am I saying? But they just pitted earlier to repair damage. Heading through the S's. White 2.2 seconds back on your leader, Benton, with 12 to go, and now almost a moment for Cole Clausen. He's going to get passed by 2 cars, it looks like. Maybe 3. He's over the curbs, losing momentum. Aiden Donahue goes wide. Oh, Ashton Miller! My goodness! He got loose. Heading to turn 11 again.
We got battle here for fourth with John Butler and Ray Huntsman.
And most importantly, though, can Matthew White run down Andrew Stacy, pass him, and then eventually try to run down your leader, Benton? Nope. Of course, iRacing blinks. The worst possible moment. There's John Butler. Just got passed by Hunsicker. Side by side here, Andrew Payson Lindsay, I should say, trying to get around Cole Clausen. He will. What a run, though. Andrew Stacy, got to talk about that real quick, running in second. Unbelievable. Here is the 8 of Chandler. To the inside on the 71 of
There's
Clausen.
Matthew White in second. And he's clear.
Wow. Just like that. Gets around Andrew Stacy, who definitely doesn't have a lot of pace. Didn't even have top 10 pace in this race for the most part, but going to be under fire now. Can Matthew White try to run? Oh, look at this. Oh, Cameron Chandler goes wide. It's a mess back here.
2.6 seconds and looks like 11 laps. But that's a tall task, but he's been the fastest car all weekend, so we'll see.
We'll see what that damage does to him. A lot of cars got damaged. A lot of the top contenders were damaged in this one. They're all trying to make their way back up through the field. They head back into turn 11. Here comes Hunsicker on Stacy. John Butler as well. Oh, John Butler gets loose. He's going to lose a spot to Ortiz. And here comes Aiden Donahue as well. 10 laps to go in Sonoma. So much chaos going on. Here is Aiden Donahue trying to squeeze his nose down to the inside of John Butler. The 29 of Cherry's there, back there as well. And now Aiden Donahue to the outside of John Butler for 6th. Donahue got lucky. He was one of the few cars that didn't have to repair damage, one of the few top 10 cars after that big wreck that we had. Over the curbs he goes yet again on John Butler's bumper. Swinging outside, inside, all over the place, battling for 6th place. Heading to turn 11. The race continues to wind on, coming in 9 to go this time by. Turn 11 is going to become more of a passing opportunity for these drivers.
As Matthew White 3/10 of a second short of that lap.
Question is, can Matthew White get there? I think he could, but can he pass Bryce Benson? Bryce Benson definitely is going to make it easy for him.
I think as long as he gets in a couple of calling, probably about 3 or 4 callings here into that final lap, I think he'll send it. Hopefully hopefully it's clean enough, but we'll see when we if he gets there. As we have a battle back here.
Andrew Stacy beginning to fall back. He was running second at one point, but he's got about 10 cars on his bumper, and now he's going to almost move to the inside. Conceives on Ortiz, maybe conceives on John Butler. Knows these are the faster cars behind him. Butler actually gets passed by Aiden Donahue. Donahue up to 6th. Two seconds the gap up front with an 8 to go this time by. White is definitely quicker than Benson. Here's Aiden Donahue trying to get to the quarter panel of Andrew Stacy. Payson Lindsay to the inside of John Butler back here. Cameron Chandler's 13th still.
5 seconds pushing Matthew White. I think he's going to get there very soon.
Laps obviously will continue to wind down pretty quickly here in Sonoma. But White is going to try to chase down Benson. Oh, he got a spin! Around goes the 97 of Axel Smith in front of Ashton Miller. Smith going to have to try to get the thing going in the right direction. There's nobody else coming. He's going to be able to fire it up again. We stay green. Here is the 82 of Donahue. Big move to the inside on Andrew Stacy. He will clear for 5th. Now John Butler on Stacy's bumpers. They battle for P6. Butler, such a great week for him. Top 10 speed throughout iCar and now even in the Cup Series. Look at the gap now, 2.8 seconds. White has almost fallen back a little bit on Benson. That damage, I think, is affecting him. Oh, look at the wheel, actually. Look at the wheel, Eli. The wheel's a little bit bent.
I can see that. It looks like the right front.
Yeah, toes knocked out of that. Here come to 7 to go. Benson trying to hold on. White everything he can with this damaged race car in 2nd place, but his teammate, the 77 of Braden Hunsicker, could get there in a minute. Oh, Hunsicker! He had a moment. My goodness, almost wrecked. Gotta be careful. Ortiz still having a great day in 4th place. 5th place now, Aiden Donahue. 6th, Andrew Stacy still holding on with a pack of cars coming behind him. Mason Lindsay almost went by. Battle for 8th. But here comes Sean Rowe and Cole Clausen as they battle for 9th place. Rowe, he was running inside the top 3 earlier in this race, but ended up losing his front end. They put it back, luckily for the 20 car, but still mired back outside the top, almost the top 10. He runs just inside the top 10 right now at 10. Here's John Butler once again on Andrew Stacy.
Matthew White the same last time. Like, it looks like the damage is going to pick up. And probably, with the damage probably hurting his tires, making him put the wheel into it. It's probably burning his tires quicker.
I mean, so unfortunate for Matthew White. Dominated the first half. Second half, hasn't led a single lap. And a big blink again for John Butler. Oh, Butler slides in that 09 once again. Andrew Stacy's doing a relatively good job holding on. Butler though to the outside once again. Maybe Stacy going to try to force him wide. But look at this pack of cars. About 7 drivers trying to come behind him for position.
John Butler has struggled trying to pass Andrew Stacy. John Butler's been stuck behind him since Andrew Stacy was in like 3rd place, and he's kept falling back. So John Butler soon needs to get past Andrew Stacy here, because cars keep passing him and they keep passing Andrew Stacy. Keep passing Andrew Stacy.
Oh, Cole Clausen goes wide. He might lose a couple spots here. At least the Sean Rowe, he falls back to 10th. McMillan is a lap down. He's going to lock up the brakes. That's his teammate. Teammate contact, and now Ashton Miller almost gets a piece of it in 11th place. Five laps to go. 2.7 seconds to lead for Bryce Benton. Looking for his 2nd win of the season. Oh, another loose moment by McMillan, but he still is holding on. But Ashton Miller trying to break inside the top 10. Not the day Ashton wanted to see at the end of this thing, but still. Okay, points for now, but almost gets contact. Did get a little bit of contact with the 71 of Cole Clausen. McMillan, the lap down car goes wide. Here comes Miller for 10th. Late in the race, cars are hot, drivers are heated, tires are worn out. Cars, some of them have damage. We're on lap 51 in Sonoma. It's been a long race. Everyone just trying to bring it home to the end. Of course, a lot of these drivers running the iRacing Rolex 24 on Saturday. So, good road course practice all week long, even if it is in a stock car. Once again, John Butler trying to get around Andrew Stacy. And here comes Sean Rowe and Payson Lindsay for 8th.
As Hunsinger is catching Matthew White very quickly. Very soon it looks like Brandon Hunsinger will be the battle of Matthew White for 2nd.
Oh! Contact between the 20 of Rowe and the 99 of Lindsay. As they nearly get together there, door to door. really aggressively racing for 8th. Lindsay is not conceding the 20th Rowe, and they're still side by side, and finally Rowe lifts a little bit, and Lindsay is back around him, but he gets loose, and now Rowe charging back to the inside. Cole Clausen back in the battle in 10th. Ashton Miller in 11th place. And here comes Rowe, dive bombing back to the inside on Payson Lindsay. Calling him Andrew Stacy for some reason, but he gets loose again. And now here comes Ashton Miller behind the 71 of Clausen. It looks like Miller's up to 10th place. Road course racing allows for some crazy moments to happen. We've seen them in the second half of this race. They are really racing hard back here, up inside the top 10. Still, John Butler cannot find a way around Andrew Stacy. 3 laps to go. Get a little bit more up front. There's Donahue running in 5th, Ortiz in 4th, and here we go for 2nd place. Here comes the 77 of Braden Hunsicker on his teammate, Matthew White, with 3 to go. White, though, still a very, very good points day, all things considered. He probably will break inside the chase again if he just finishes here, at least in the top 3 after winning the stage as well. For the curb goes that 7th car. Looking again further back, this battle is about 8 or so cars in line from about 6th on to almost 13th. So much hard racing going on. Just inside or outside the top 10.
Give John Butler a chance to spin.
Here we go. Again, Butler tries the way around the outside. Stacy, I think, is blocking as much as he can in turn 11. So they come to 2 laps to go. Now for Bryce Benson. What a wild season it's been for Bryce so far this year. Won the Daytona 500 for his first ever Cup Series win in an incredible finish there. Ended up having an awful race in Richmond that got him suspended for Fontana, which was last week, and now leads with under 2 laps to go in Sonoma. Looking for win number 2 in the year, and would be career win number 2. Wasn't the fastest car, but took advantage of incidents when they happen. And here comes a big side tight bomb down to the inside for the 8 of Cameron Chandler. For about, I think, 11th place on Cole Clausen, side by side. And Cameron entered as the points leader in this race. Definitely will not exit as the points leader tonight. Still side by side through the S's, door to door racing. Oh, Clausen turns the 8 of Chandler, and they spin in front of Ethan McMillan. They're going to get fired back up again. Clausen's in the grass. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't think Cameron's going to be too pleased. Oh! More sliding around here. Again, here's Andrew Stacy side by side with John Butler. They're on the final lap. And it's a mess back here for the battles. White flag.
Got bad Matthew White.
That was for 2nd place. Watching all this, Ortiz now trying to be chased down by the 82 of Donahue. Final time up the hill these guys go. Here's Payson Lindsay in 8th place, row 9th. Rounding out your top 10 is Ashton Miller on the last lap. Here comes Miller to the inside on the 20 of Sean Rowe. Rowe's going to almost try to slide wide, and it looks like Miller might take the spot. Yes, he will. And he clears Sean Rowe. For now 2nd. How about the 77 Hunsicker? But coming to turn 11 is the 9 of Bryce Benton. What a race for him. Came out of nowhere, was running 3rd, but he's going to round turn 11 to see the checkered flag for his first ever Cup Series road course win and the 2nd win of the year. Bryce Benton wins in Sonoma. Career win number 2 for him. 2nd over the line will be Hunsicker. 3rd, Matthew White. Here we go, side-by-side final time between Butler. Oh, Butler's going to nearly spin. Getting around him is now with his 99 Lindsay. They're door-to-door here for what is 7th, and Lindsay will grab 7th. Butler 8th is going to crash across the line. Somehow gets 8th, crashing with the 79 of Miller. Across the line comes the 20 of Sean Rowe in 10th. Cameron Chandler, not the greatest for him, as they finish behind them as well. What a finish, what a win. Bryce Benson wins in Sonoma for his 2nd career win and a first on a road course. Was one of the favorites entering tonight, but probably not the favorite. The favorite, Matthew White, finishes 3rd. And Bryce Benson has won from the Sonoma Raceway, his 2nd career win, and needed this one, I wouldn't say badly, but entered tonight 6th in points. And this will be a great help. Your winner in Sonoma. What a wild season for him. So, obviously, win in the Daytona 500. Now a win in Sonoma. In between that, a suspension in Fontana, and a awful race that ended up with a DNF in Richmond. This one is special, though, for the 9. He won iCar as well, and now wins tonight in the Cup Series. What a week for the 9 of Bryce Benson. And he will get to burn it down here in Sonoma, your race winner. First repeat winner in the entire league this season, between everything besides iCar, and he will burn it down. 2nd win of the season. It's 5 chase points from this as well. Exactly what Bryce Benson wanted to see, and he's going to do that long wheel stand down the front straightaway. Long race. Ultimately ended up in Bryce Benson's hands. He'll burn it down. Your winner in Sonoma. He continues to burn this thing down to the ground. Not a great finish for points leader Cameron Chandler. He just didn't have the speed today. Ran about 8th, 9th all day long. Finishes 11th. Bryce Benson wins in Sonoma. Huntsicker ends up 2nd. White, the dominant car in the first half, didn't lead a second lap in the second half at all. Wrap up in 3rd. Ortiz, career day, I would say today. Had incredible speed. Will finish in 4th. Donahue runs at your top 5. Really good finish for Andrew Stacy. I mean, there was a chance he would have fallen back outside the top 10. But somehow, some way, he holds on. Lindsay got the spot from John Butler, who finished 8th. Miller 9th, and Sean Rowe runs at your top 10. Wow. I mean, kind of a story of 2 different races, Eli. Very interesting tonight here at Sonoma.
It's a very good race. Matthew White dominated all day, and then near at the end there has incident, and it gets behind guys, and it gets another wreck. Has enough speed, but enough damage to hurt his day, as after the race, Payson Lindsay and looks like Sean Rowe got into it after. But what a great race overall, and congrats Bryce Benson.
Yeah, big win for Bryce Benson coming back. They should have another great points shake up now, I think. Some drivers are not very happy. I mean, we saw Sean Rowe, Cameron Chandler not happy with each other. They raced really well, and they were very happy with each other last week in Fontana. Former teammates Matthew White, Aiden Donahue, not too pleased with each other either. So it's interesting, and we got post-race interviews coming up. First of all, your winner, Bryce Benson. Bryce Benson, how about it? You win your 2nd Cup race of the year, your 2nd career race as well, here tonight at Sonoma. So, obviously, first half was pretty clean and green. You ran, I think, 4th. You finished almost 4th on the stage, I believe. But then things happened there in the beginning of the second half. A big wreck to start us off here, and then another pile up after that. And you're able to hold on to the Braden Huntsicker and Matthew White cars behind them, and you win in Sonoma. How did you do it here in the second half?
Yeah, first thing I want to point out is you cannot script this because I did a league on Monday. I got DNF in that. Then I win iCard Tuesday, and then I DNF in the Xfinity race, and then we get a win here. I don't know what's going on, but that's a really nice win. I mean, I don't know. It was again. It was, you could say it's a little lucky. I mean, I would say it was a little bit lucky, but I did have to still beat Matthew White. I know he had damage, but I still had to beat Matthew White that time. Unlike iCar, but yeah, that was a pretty fun race. It's tough to pass. I was struggling to get around row in the first half because there was like no way to pass, and then second half I lucked out kind of and got the lead. It was a tough wreck to avoid though. Like I'm surprised I had enough reaction time to even avoid it, but yeah, that was really nice to avoid it. So then I thought I was good, and then we got the yellow, and I almost did the wrong strategy because I was gonna stay out, but at the last second I saw everyone pitting, so I decided to make the really sharp left hand turn to pit road, and yeah, that worked out. And then the restart was a little controversial. I kind of went a little early, but still, it worked out, and I didn't get like a black flag or anything for my racing. So yeah, it worked out, and overall was able to just pull away and get a win.
Yeah, big win for you guys. I mean, you started off your Cup Series career going way back for like first two full-time seasons for you guys, not winning a single race, and then all of a sudden, four races into this one, only three because of your suspension in Fontana, you're now a two-time Cup Series winner, including a Daytona 500. So, like, what kind of confidence booster is that to see like maybe finally the changing of whatever luck you had here? Now you get two wins early in the year.
Yeah, it's been an odd year, odd season, because I feel like I've either wrecked or won. Been doing my best Kyle Larson impression, but yeah, it definitely does boost my confidence for sure. But yeah, it's kind of just been a roller coaster just because of all the wrecks and getting suspended also, but also getting the two wins. The two big wins too because obviously this is my home track, and I also won the Daytona 500. So yeah, two really big wins, and that's really nice. And yeah, it is a little bit of a confidence booster. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of hope going into this season after going winless last season. I mean, I probably should have won multiple races last season like I'm doing right now, but just it never worked out, and it finally worked out at Daytona. I think after that, my I guess luck, but also I think my just confidence has just gone upward.
All right, and then Eli, if you have any questions for a winner.
Congrats, Bryce Benson, on the win. Uh, there that what would, you started fifth on that restart before that big wreck happened in front of you. Got the lead. What was how surprising was to see all those guys wreck right in front of you? Barely got by there to pull out to the lead.
Yeah, it was really surprising. I mean, I don't know. Again, I was like I said, I was really surprised to even avoid that. I mean, it was in kind of a blind spot too. I almost got involved too because I almost picked the wrong one because I went to the right. I probably could have went to the left and probably avoided it a little bit better. But yeah, I think it was like Donahue he almost spun right down into me and ended my race. But yeah, it was definitely a close call. I still almost lost the lead though. I had to defend a little bit, but I had the inside for the two corners coming up, so it all worked out. And yeah, it was definitely surprising though.
All right, Bryce Benson. Well, big congratulations. I mean, these Cup Series wins are not easy to come by, and you just came by two of your first career wins here in the first four races of the season as we head to Legacy Atlanta next week. Final question here: what is your confidence level on that racetrack? Have you done any testing?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I think I should be good. I mean, I was fast in testing there, Atlanta. I don't know. I think we could have a solid race, and yeah. I mean, I think we could probably go for another win. I like the intermediates at this in this car, and yeah, I think we could probably just go for another win. I probably could have went for a win at Auto Club if I wasn't suspended, but yeah, I think we should be out there at Atlanta.
All right, Bryce Benson. Well, of course, big congrats on the win here tonight at Sonoma. It's a big one for you guys. Exactly what you needed to turn your season back around. Have fun celebrating and drinking, I guess, the grape juice for you in
Yeah, the
Victory
grape
Lane.
juice. Yep.
Yeah. And we will see you next week in Sonoma coming off yeah, okay. In Atlanta coming off a big win here in Sonoma.
Yep.
As your winner, Bryce Benson. What a win for him. Coming up next, your second place finisher, Braden Hunsicker. Braden Hunsicker, I mean, early
Wow.
in the race, you guys ran, I think, what, 10th, 9th? I mean, and a great second half for you guys, moving up to second place. Of course, some cars had damage. You stayed out of it for the most part. Your teammate, Matthew White, you passed there with about 2 laps to go. I mean, ultimately, are you happy with the second place finish after the race started off?
Well, we had a slow start. I was expecting to claw my way through the pack, but it just didn't happen. I was just staying in the top 7-ish around there. Didn't really make up any ground, didn't lose any, but um, the second half we improved really well. I mean, we got past the restart carnage I had between Aiden and Matthew. I don't know what happened there, but we got past that and put us in the top 5, and we just stayed up there from that. So pretty happy with what car we brought today. Definitely wasn't expecting a top 3 based off my qualifying results from the start, but I'll take it. It's much needed points we needed. I think we're like 10th in the point standing, so a top 3 is definitely um, really important to us, and I just can't wait for next week and see what we bring to Atlanta.
Yeah, of course. Speaking about Legacy Atlanta, it's the first mile and a half of the season. First mile and a half, of course, where and since you won your championship last season in Miami. So coming back to the mile and a half after having such great history and a couple of wins, I think, throughout your career, mile and a halfs as well. And you also won Atlanta last season, of course, but that was the super speedway configuration with a completely different race car. How do you think that race could go for you next week?
Um, I'm pretty comfortable in this car. I've been improving a lot. I feel really confident in the results I have been getting lately in this car. So, I'm expecting a great race next week unless something happens, which has also been happening past couple weeks. But I'm just looking forward to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Track's really bumpy. It should produce good racing for the most part. So, I just can't wait to see what happens. So.
All right, Braden. Well, of course, nice job here, second place after a pretty good comeback here in the second half of the race, and we'll see you next week from Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yep, thank you.
Up next, going to be, um, let's see, Aiden Donahue finished fifth. Aiden Donahue, pretty up and down second half for you guys. My goodness. So of course you ended up pitting right before the stage break. You still got a stage point because some other cars pitted behind you. And of course you took the lead from that, staying out in this for the second half restart, and then you immediately get wrecked by Matthew White, and then you had some sort of thing going on there. So first of all, take me through what was going on there between you and him.
uh Watch the video. He just drove right through me. I get that I kind of slowed down because I entered the corner a little shallower, but he over everybody knows better to do that. So I got the receipts, and Legacy Atlanta will be fun. Um, so it'll be fun to watch. But no, we didn't really have race winning pace. Me and Cheery were having fun battling there for fourth and fifth, it looked like. But yeah, it's just really disappointing when you race someone like that for so long and they're so clean and respectful to you, and then they just kind of drive right through you. Very disappointing. So if that's how the season's going to be, then so be it. And we'll move on to Legacy Atlanta, where the real racing begins.
Yeah, of course. Speaking about Atlanta next week, you guys have always been really good on the mile and a half. So I know you're pretty good in them on with this new Gen 4 car. You think that's maybe your best shot so far this season to get your first win of the year?
We've had a couple of really good shots this year, just haven't executed properly. Choked Richmond, didn't have enough time at Daytona, or no, I got blocked at Daytona the wrong way, and We've been up there all year long so far, battling for wins, top 5. So we'll add the more points to the bucket and see where we shake up. But nah, I'm looking to get a win. I'm kind of tired of it, especially getting tired of being run through. Yeah, I don't really take to that kindly at all. So yeah, it's noted.
All right, Aiden. Well, of course, still nice job getting a top 5 finish when all things were done here at Sonoma Raceway. And we'll see you coming up next week at Legacy Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next up, how about Andrew Stacy? Andrew Stacy, you were second in this race at one point. You obviously fell back, but I don't really know how you were able to hold on to 6th place with like 9 cars coming behind you for position. Take me through those maybe last in 10 or so laps and how you were somehow able to hold on.
So obviously, I took a strategical advantage. I believed if I let the fastest guy go and don't waste my time and lose more seconds on the guys who I actually can battle with, so I just let him go in the most safest way as I possibly could. If I let Aiden Donahue, the final fast guy, and basically all I did was in all the slow corners, I white lined. I felt like a K100 junior mid-pack driver battling in the LCQ. I was being a tear, to be frank. I was doing pretty good defending. I think it's the best ever defending I've done ever on a Gen 4. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I liked it. I feel like this proves ourselves after Fontana that it wasn't just a one-time wonder. It's coming to us. It's coming to us good. I said last week, you better be worried of me. I was practicing for this race, and I think it paid off.
Yeah, of course. You guys entered this race. Let me pull it up real quick. 16th in points, 6th place finish. I think that'll help you pretty good here. So, I mean, is this starting to build to maybe a chase appearance for the first time in your career?
Yeah, I believe we can get to the chase, definitely, if we keep up this consistency. I mean, obviously, last race, we got a top 10 at Richmond. We should have had a great finish there at Fontana, but we obviously got caught up in the restart wreck. And now, today, we just got a P6. Could have been a top 5, but hey, I'm not going to complain. We were up to second at that point. We kept the car clean. No repair times at all we had to take. That was our main goal. And yeah, proud of our finish today.
All right, Andrew. Well, nice job finishing in 6th place today. Starting to rack up some good top 10 finishes that could allow you to be in the chase this season, but we'll see what happens next week in Legacy Atlanta, and we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Up next will be Pace and Lindsay. Pace and Lindsay, you guys will come home in 7th place here tonight from Sonoma Raceway. So overall, I don't know. You guys kind of ran in the 7th, maybe 8th to 10th range all day long and really couldn't seem like you could escape from that. Obviously, Andrew Stacy was battling pretty hard. He got John Butler there on the final lap. So take me through being involved in that whole battle and then ultimately passing Butler.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have that much speed today, and on the restart after the stage, we were kind of involved in the wreck. John Butler doored us and somehow gave us 6.5 minutes of damage. So I think after everything that unfolded, we probably could have got a top 5. But I mean, Andrew and Butler battling in front of us, and then having Chandra behind us. I didn't really think we were gonna be able to hold on to anything, but. We just kept our rhythm up. We weren't really running that great at lap times, but yeah, on the last lap there, we were just close enough with Andrew and John battling that we were able to squeeze by John and get P6 or P7.
Yeah, so of course, it is a top 10 finish here in this race, but you guys maybe were expecting a little bit more, but you had really good speed last week, of course, in Fontana. You entered this race plus 17 to the good on the chase. What's your confidence level overall at Legacy Atlanta next week?
Yeah, I mean, I think we exceeded expectations here at Sonoma. I'm not really a road course guy. I honestly, if we had a full field, I wasn't even expecting to get a top 15. So we way exceeded those expectations. And Legacy Atlanta, we're pretty good there in the Xfinity and the truck, but I've only done a few laps there in the Gen 4, and that was in preseason Thunder. So we'll have to get used to the racetrack, see what we can do on the long run. We're usually pretty good on the long runs in the Xfinity car. So hopefully we'll be able to get a win there.
All right, Payson, well, nice job finishing in the top 10 here ultimately at Sonoma, and we'll see you next week from Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, thank you.
Last interview that
I finished 4th.
That was you?
Yeah.
Why did it say Ortiz?
Because you didn't change the name.
Oh. Well, okay. Well, that changes a few things in my thinking. I thought Ortiz was having a career day today.
Well, shout out to Ortiz. I mean, great guy. Just he's
Well,
gonna be he's gonna be racing on his account for like a month, and I mean, I already like say it on my interviews on Xfinity and well on Grand National and iCar when if I'm gonna run the cup race or not. I maybe said that on I didn't know and I ended up
you
running to that. I
large,
don't know.
you said no.
I said no to the Grand National, but anyways, do the interview.
Wow, unbelievable. All right, Richard Cherry, actually, your name is going to be changed to Carlos Ortiz today. Carlos Ortiz, you guys go home in 4th place. What a day for you guys. Pretty chaotic. You made it through the chaos pretty much unscathed all day long, and how about that finishing in 4th?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Career day for us. Yeah. The difference is Carlos Ortiz is employed and I'm not employed, so my small difference there. But I mean, it was. I thought could maybe have a shot at it at the end with Bryce, and then just got spun by Aston. Things happen, so what can you do? It didn't cost me as much as him, and we ended up 4th. So good day for us. Just I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable today in the hairpin, especially. Just overshot it a couple times there. So.
All right, well, Carlos, of course, how much fun do you think Legacy Atlanta will be next week?
Yeah, it will be a blast. I mean, one of my favorite tracks. So yeah, let's see. I mean, we got Carlos Ortiz, but Spaniard Carlos Ortiz. So.
Okay, Carlos. Well, hopefully you and Richard Cherry's your guys' new kid is doing well, and we will see you next week in Atlanta.
All right.
Okay. There is Carlos Cherry. Coming up next is going to be final interview of the night, Cameron Chandler. Cameron Chandler, it just wasn't a very good day from the looks of it for you guys as you entered tonight as the points leader. You finished 11th. You got I think you got hooked a little bit there at the end by Cole Clausen. So ultimately, what happened there? And then ultimately, what more were you lacking on the speed department?
Yeah, I mean, it was a road course. We had a decent Monster Energy Chevy. But after that stage, there was an incident with Richard Cherry, Sean Rowe, Ashton Miller, and someone else, and Matthew White. And for whatever reason, Rowe decided he was just gonna slam the gas and drive right into our left front. And that doesn't happen. We finished up there with Braden Hunsaker. We were running with him about all race, a little bit better than him. But yeah, we had 4 minutes of damage, couldn't get it all fixed, and just had absolutely no turn. And then Cole Clausen, I don't really know what Cole Clausen was thinking on the that last run. It knocked me off the racetrack once, made me lose a bunch of spots, and then he hooked me coming into the end. So, man, at worst, probably should have been the top 5, but it's whatever. I think we can keep the points lead going into Atlanta, which should be pretty fun.
Yeah, Atlanta, more of your wheelhouse, of course. How do you think that track's going to treat you on next Thursday night for the Cup Series? Obviously, a lot of drivers are looking forward to that one. You think it might be one of the race of the years?
I don't know about race of the year, but I think it's going to be pretty good. I hope we kind of have some of the similar fuel strategy we had at our Auto Club. Our new crew chief Jamal Christ, he's been doing an absolutely phenomenal job on the box. He's the only one of my crew chiefs that hasn't been fired within the first week. No, first half of the race. And most of the crew chiefs are lucky to even make it through stage 1. So I think he's on his 3rd race so far. He's been doing pretty good. Pretty good strategy, and Atlanta's one of a good. Oh my God, Atlanta's a good track for me. So hopefully we can lead a lot of laps and get our first one of the season.
All right, so we won't talk about what happened to me at New Atlanta a few years ago. But
oh yeah, when
anyways,
you self-spawn at New Atlanta in the Xfinity car and had a 50-year-old man yelling at you.
No,
50-year-old man, maybe a grandkid on the way.
You have a grandkid on the way with Matthew White, right?
What?
Or I meant a kid.
What? Huh?
All right. Anyways, Cameron Chandler, nice job to 11th place finish. We'll see you next week.
And that will do it, everybody.
All right, down. Nope.
It has been a phenomenal.
No one's watching anyways at the end of this one, so who cares? Only 9 people tuning in right now to the end. Anyways, Eli, man, what a day here tonight at Sonoma Raceway. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Maybe a half of 2 races. Like, any final thoughts here?
That was a very good race. First half, pretty clean. A couple of small incidents, but nothing major. And then we have pitch strategy, which made racing very interesting. Dane Donahue kept us heading right towards the stage. Matthew White go back besides first place. And after that, it just kind of went crazy. Matthew White got involved in a wreck, and then we had a second wreck, and then he almost looked like he had a chance to come back, take the lead, and then he's damaged. Finally got him finished third. Congrats to Bryce Spence's second win, and it should be a great time next week at Old Atlanta.
Yeah, Legacy Atlanta, of course, coming up. I believe iCar. Don't know exactly. I can check this real quick. iCar goes somewhere on Tuesday. I know that for a fact. Of course, the Grand National Series on Wednesday, and then the Cup Series on Thursday, all from Legacy Atlanta Motor Speedway for the first time ever, usually at New Atlanta. iCar goes to Lanier next week, so that's, I believe, a short track. First time ever they go there. And then we might have lobbies on Friday as well, so probably another packed week next week from mostly the Atlanta Motor Speedway. All right, that will do it. On behalf of all officials, team owners, commentators, drivers, everyone involved in this league, what a week in Sonoma. I'm Ethan Trendler. That was Eli Franklin. We hope you enjoyed. We will see you next week from Legacy Atlanta Motor Speedway. Congratulations, Bryce Benson. Good night from Sonoma Raceway.